The warmest of welcomes on New Year's Day to Racing Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, thrilled to be with you 2022. Here we go. So much coming every Saturday. We'll be with you, all being well, with our sponsors Betfair along the way. Really looking forward to what should be an unbelievable year ahead. Let's hope your wildest dreams come true, and including on this show today. Let us know you're out there. It's your chance to get a shout out. We've been delighted with the viewing figures. All of our shows over the Christmas period. Plenty to talk about, isn't there? The halftime whistle, as I said, on Boxing Day last Sunday we were in, weren't we? Of course, it was a Sunday, the show we did. What have you got for us? Any Cheltenham naps? Anything running today? Of course, we start off with the Dipper Chase at 125. 5 of the last 7 winners have gone on to win a race at the festival. It's a non-misser for you out there. And then we'll finish, of course, in the Rekeel, the feature race of the day, Brewing Up a Storm. A little bit weak in that, but is he the right horse? Your chance to let us know. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Facebook Live, let's ramp up that chat, shall we? And anything on Twitter, hashtag RP Live. Right, who's joining me on the first day of what is going to be a glorious year? I mean, it's balmy out there, Mattie, Batchelor, isn't it?
Balmy. Happy New Year, Dave.
Happy New Year, my old son. How was Christmas for you?
Yeah, very busy. You had 10 rounds cooking. Last night was very quiet because I thought...
You were schooling this morning as well, weren't you?
Rode out this morning, yeah, and I thought I don't come in the studio
Gone are the
looking a bit
days,
green.
Batch, absolutely, absolutely. I can actually, usually bereft of ribs when Batch is here, but no, it's all good. So, a lot to look forward to. We're going to see a bit of you this year, aren't we? Fantastic.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and I say over the Christmas period, it was some great races, and all the good horses are bubbling under there, and they're looking well.
This Cheltenham meeting on New Year's Day, I've been a couple of times, as I'm sure loads of viewers out. If you're going to the track today, of course, we can be Hughes Mobile. Let us know where you are, what your big fancies are. There's a real buzz, isn't there, about this meeting?
Yeah, it's good. The New Year's beginning, and Cheltenham's not far away now. I know we're only in January, but everyone's looking and focusing forward for that.
One more meeting after this and we're there, aren't we?
That's it, yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, great stuff. Who else is along? Well, it's a poignant show for 10-point Tom Collins. So don't forget, I coined that phrase.
You did indeed.
10-point Tom, absolutely. TC. How are we, TC?
Yeah, I'm good.
Survived your booster?
Yeah, had a bit of a scare early in the week with the booster. God, I felt awful.
Did you tell all your followers about that as well, did you?
I didn't. The one thing I haven't told them in the last year. But
probably told them what you had for breakfast this morning and all that sort of thing. TC is a master of the Twitter following. And we should listen, you've let everyone know already out there, this is your final ever shift at the Racing Post, isn't it?
Yes, final shift today. Hopefully go out on a high, starting the year, but also ending a chapter. So, yeah, hopefully a few winners along the way.
We are absolutely honoured to have TC with us then for his last ever time. He's a real pro, and getting your feedback for TC, I'll let you know what he's doing in the future. Right, it's lovely over here, Barry Orr. What's it like in Dublin as the big hitter joins us back?
Exact same. Happy to report, Dave. It's gorgeous over here. Really mild couple of days, although we've had plenty of rain each evening. But it's lovely, and it's a great way to start the new year.
Are you? What sort of form are we on, Barry? Did we see in midnight last night, or?
We saw in midnight, myself and my family. It was lovely, very quiet. We had a glass of champagne, and I was in bed tucked up, much like Mattie Batch, with anticipation bubbling over for today's racing.
Yeah, so, okay, let's talk about this. Do you remember last year, Barry? Wow, we'd walked all the way through, haven't we? This is the final shift of a bumper Christmas COVID, shall we say, that we had. We had no Cheltenham, we had no Fakenham, we had no Exeter. We had to rely on Musselburgh and Tramore.
I certainly do remember. It was a long old shift, Dave. After the end of a long shift, I'm trying to go through that Tramore card and try to find a few winners in it. It was virtually impossible. Very, very difficult, but happy to report today is a little bit easier in my eyes anyway. That's the great illusion of being a punter, isn't it? It looks a little bit easier. Whether it turns out that way come 3 o'clock, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, okay. Before we get a bit of business out of the way, Barry was on last year. We didn't really know. It was like, are we doing the show? Yeah, we're doing the show. Okay, fine. ITV were jigging around all the races that we cover because we cover terrestrial races. If you're new to the show, this is your alternative experience here and your raucous reaction. And we learnt a bit about Tramore. It's a seaside town. You're a Brighton lad, aren't you?
Yeah, Brighton, born and bred,
I never knew you and Barry had so many similarities, you see. But we are popping to Tramore as well to see the Gold Cup, the dual Gold Cup winner.
Dual Gold Cup.
A little bit of shine come off Alboon photo. He's got a team race to win, hasn't he?
Yeah, it looks that way. Obviously, Gordon Elliott, one of his runners, has come out, and another one of Willie Mullins's. But yeah, it's a Team Willie Mullins race, that's for sure. Willie, obviously, a director down at Tramore. Janie, if he didn't bring a couple of horses to it, they'd never get runners in it. So it's good to see that the dual Gold Cup winner there only beaten a little over 5 lengths in it last year. So he's no back number album photo. He's a real live Gold Cup contender. 14-1 chance at the moment in that market. A market still headed by Aplatard and Galvin, who fought out such a magnificent finish in the Savills on the 27th here in Leopardstown.
Yes. Okay. So, but lots has happened since we were here on Boxing Day. What a King George it was, of course. Tornado Flyer coming over the top. We've seen some Rolls Royce performances, TC, since then, haven't we? Leopardstown was sizzling.
I mean, the whole Christmas period. There are two different periods in the jump season everyone looks forward to. Obviously, the Cheltenham Festival and the Christmas period. This is where we find out all the clues going towards the spring. And yeah, there were loads of clues at Leopardstown. I like Dunboyne for the Attempts final, by the way. Got to get that out there after the Bosses Oscar last year. Dunboyne this year for Gordon Elliott again.
We're going to have this the whole show, are we? You're going to have to write these down.
Just the one. Hopefully he goes one place better than the Bosses Oscar. But there were loads of clues over the period in Ireland and in Britain.
Right. That's okay, absolutely. So let's hear from you. What was the best performance of the Christmas period? What are your predictions for 2022? Get them in. Stephen Hughes, I'll tell you what, the first ever Social Corner of 2022 goes to Stephen Hughes, the multiple Stephen Hughes, as I call him. He's lucky 15 is all over the place. Happy New Year to the RP Live team. And to yourself, my man. What's the multiple today, Stephen? Have we got a lucky 15? I know one man that has. Let's get some business out of the way from Barry Orr.
Yeah, please, Tom, if we could get this on nice and early. It's 4 horses I fancy. A lucky 15, obviously 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator and 4 singles. It's 15 bets. We're going to do it for a quid each way. The first horse we're going to put in is in the 125. It's Gladiator Alan, a horse that I've liked over hurdles. He can be a bit buzzy though. He's a big price, and that's what I'm kind of aiming for here. The second one in Cheltenham will be Galahad Quest, a horse I backed in the Paddy Power, fell last day, but I'm going to forgive him that. And in the 235 then in Cheltenham as well, Dolphin Square with Mr. David Maxwell. You know what you get with David Maxwell. It's factored into the price. And then over to Musselburgh for the 140, where we're going to back Cavanagh Cross, who has a very valuable £5 claimer on him. For a quid each way, 15 bet, it's going to cost us 30 quid. I think that nets us, the guts of 40 grand if that was to come in. So fingers crossed that we get lucky today and we managed to get a couple of winners up in it anyway and get off to a flying start. We haven't picked the charity yet. Might leave that up to Tom. Let him pick a horse racing charity, considering it's his swan song today.
There you go, Thomas. There's a little curveball for you. I think we're going to get you doing everything today, right? You're trading for Barry in the studio. We want at least 2 commentaries out of him. Let's give him the
two commentaries.
It's got to be 2 commentaries,
Right,
isn't it?
I'll do
And you've got to pick a charity as well. So I'll let you Google away horse racing related if you don't mind.
And if we win the 40 grand, we can buy some new track.
I'll tell you what,
stand
up.
Stand up. Have a look.
As well. I mean, look, you have to lift it up. Look at the state of those. I mean, Barry doesn't get to see these. He basically comes in. I said, how was your Christmas? I said, how was your Christmas? He said, don't stand back up. He said, how was your Christmas? He could have got him some new jeans. Absolutely. Listen, I'm not sure if they'll let you into America. Never mind a criminal record, TC. I'm not sure about those.
They are torn to shreds, to be fair.
Absolutely. They do have jump racing, of course, in America. You
Yes.
could become the next, I know Ruby Walsh of the American jump racing. I think it's probably like Chester over there, isn't it? Or something like that.
It is.
Maryland or wherever it is.
Yeah, firm ground. I could definitely make the weight, I'll tell you that for nothing.
You absolutely could. No comment. Okay, great stuff. So we're cooking with gas. Let's have you out there. There you can see Barry's each way lucky 15. I wondered whether you were going to stick with Galahad Quest, Barry. He was an eye catcher, wasn't he, on his return? Strange move that they went to Aintree. He obviously took a fall there, but you're happy to keep the faith then?
Yeah, he just jumped a little bit sketchy. He had a couple of ones prior to that before he came down. He just came down a bit steep in Aintree, so I'm willing to forgive him that. He was sent off favourite that day, don't forget. And I thought he ran a cracker in the Paddy Power. He's on a very workable mark still. I think there's plenty of improvement to come in him. So, yeah, definitely sticking with Galahad.
All right, okay, yeah, I'm 100% keeping him on my radar as well. It's the 2 o'clock, of course, the big handicap chase of the day. Who's sticking with Cool Cody? Let us know. Let's have all the dreams are alive, aren't they, at this stage?
At the minute.
In 2022. I mean, it's a new year, but the first race of the year in Fairy House went to Arthur Moore. That was great to see. So some things remain the same. Of course, we have 2 races down at Cheltenham. Henry Daly for the late Trevor Hemmings. He looked a good horse, didn't he? Hillcrest in the opener.
It looked nice, yeah. A bit green and still...
Saw off Iron
16
Maximus.
to 1 Albert Bartlett.
Is he?
Yeah, introduced at 25 in the Ballymore and 16 in the Albert Bartlett. He'd look at prime candidate for the Albert Bartlett if they wanted to go down that route with him, but chasing's going to be his game. Yeah. Did you see the size? I mean, he looks absolutely huge. Yeah,
he dwarfed Iron Maximus, Barry. You're right, and sort of broke his resolution as well. He looked like a nice horse. You've ridden at this meeting, of course. Your old Coney Gree went there, didn't he?
Yeah, finished 3rd in the Ballymores. Yeah.
To some proper horses,
didn't he? The new one and at Fisher's Cross, yeah.
Of course, we both.
That was a decent race.
Very decent, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, great stuff. So Matt's going to give us, the insight during the races. You get the reactions, of course. If you want to know where your money went, this is it. We'll be showcasing the functionality of the exchange and anything sportsbook anti-post. Get them in. Barry will give you quotes. We've seen so many chess pieces move, haven't we? Performance over the Christmas period for you, just before we go to the first race, the Dipper?
I loved watching Gallop and the Champs. His jumping was
so much so that you were literally speechless with the name.
Unbelievable, yeah.
We were all Googling them, Matt. We were like, where did that run? Did that run down Royal or something?
He was just breathtaking going around there.
Yeah, he really was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And of course, we'd seen Brave Man's Game, who we cheered home. You went, what do you make of that, TC?
Yeah, I thought it was an impressive performance.
Oh, there's a bit of dampness in that.
Yeah, well, no, I think he was very impressive, but looking towards Cheltenham, I'd be a bit concerned just for the track.
We might even go, might he?
Exactly. I'd rather they sent him to entry, to be fair. But Paul Nichols seemed, in the initial interview after the race, he said they weren't going to go to Cheltenham, and then he did another interview and said the owners really want to go. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
I'd say he just has to have time to work on the owners, Tom. That's all.
Yeah.
He won't want to go to Cheltenham.
Yeah.
John Danstow and the other guy are mad keen, I'd say, to go to Cheltenham, but Paul will work on them and it'll be straight to entry, I think.
Yeah, it's great to see John Dance a decent jumper. I mean, he's got them with Paul in his own colours, but the Drews, obviously, of course. This Brave Man's Game and Galopin des Champs, they must have Team Bob Ollinger worried about whichever race he goes for. I know we haven't seen Bob. Some people a little bit saying, why haven't we seen him again since? But they must have him worried. Lots of good judges, before we even saw any of them jump a fence, said that Bob will be the next sprint at Sacre. He's that good. Rightly so, on what we saw in the Ballymore. You can understand that. But it's amazing how these fences, Batch, level them up.
It brings them back on a level playing field, and both of them horses, Brave Man's Game and Galloping, as I said before, like Brave Man's Game, I described him as George Best. He's just, I mean, even going around Kempton the other day, and Harry admitted it himself, he said he went for a couple of long ones, and Brave Man, even at the last, Harry's gone, he's seen one.
What did you call it to me? Hang on a minute.
Oh, no,
okay.
yeah.
How can we be clever about this? The best thing you've ever seen.
The best thing, yeah.
Which it was. But why? Because Posty was in this chair and he said the way he came away from that last fence, Brave Man's Game, he put himself right, didn't he, when Harry asked him for a big one?
He's just the whole package. You go down, you can ask him up, he'll come up.
Yeah.
He'll go and pop. And then going down to the last, for a novice to do what he done, when Harry said, come on, he knew he was that intelligent. He was like, no, hold on a minute, Harry, this is a little bit too long. He done a John Travolta shuffle in front of the
Bambi
fence.
on ice, wasn't it?
Bambi on ice,
Yeah.
and then still got
great.
away from the fence. It was
All right,
just
I mean, we
class.
could talk about this on and on and on, and we will do. Galopin des Champs, Brave Man's Game, and Bob Ollinger, to name but a few. Very, very exciting novice chasers. Which races do you think they go for? Let's have it. But we must get on to the Dipper. Who's going to jump like Bob Ollinger in this? We know that Barry likes Gladiator. Len, I have to say, that was a bit of a curveball, Barry. TC, what about you?
I thought this was a tricky race to start off with, to be fair, because the top two in the market, I think it's between those two, but they both come with doubts. Now, the Glancing Queen is stepping up in class and she's against the boys again. But she's jumped very well since going chasing. L'Homme Presse was exceptional last time, despite jumping out to the left. So this track should suit, but you never know with Cheltenham, do you? It's
Does
not
he
like,
put you off backing at the Queen?
Yeah, the fact that L'Homme Presse is in the field.
Because I suppose a lot of judges about this favourite over the last couple of days, and I felt sure he was going to drift.
Yeah.
And I thought she would go into favours. She has been well backed, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, I mean, she was available yesterday at 7-2.
Yeah.
I think she was third favourite because Miller's Bank was second favourite, or some, they were maybe joint second favourite. And I thought at that point you could bet the Glancing Queen without L'Homme Presse, because L'Homme Presse is the joker in the pack, could be anything. Obviously got a £12 penalty.
We're going to miss him,
really
aren't we?
good.
Joker in the pack. You see, he's beaten you to that phrase already. This is what you get with TC.
I genuinely think it's between the two. But if I was betting in the race, I'd probably bet L'Homme Presse because I think he's the most likely winner.
Is this an in-running race?
It could be. I probably would just leave it personally, and there are better opportunities later on.
When
but
you're taking 13-8 about a horse like this, listen, it's Saturday, it's New Year's Day, it's soft ground-ish, it's Venetia Williams.
yeah, I mean,
They're just hand in hand, aren't they?
before this year though, Venetia Williams' record with chasers at Cheltenham was pretty poor. It was the second worst strike rate at any track with chasers, Aintree being the worst. This year, obviously, she's had a few. There was a real good grey that won. I can't remember the horse's name. Commodore under Charlie Deutsch earlier this season. Maybe L'Homme Presse will be another Commodore and make all in this race, but you just don't know going to Cheltenham.
And under sub 2-1. Barry looks like he's
Exactly.
hardening up all the time, this Fav, is he?
2.76. a 7-4 chance, and has been around that. Hasn't been much shorter than that, and hasn't been a lot bigger. The money horse is the Glancing Queen, though. She's into 7-2, haven't been back to 5-1. Miller's Bank was out to 8-1 at one stage, is into 6-1 now. When we first went up with that market, it was a 7-2 chance. So that's slided out, but people think there must be a bit of fat in that price, and I've backed it in. Come On Teddy has come in for good support as well, is into 8.6 now. Oscar Elite 11. I just thought it could be one where it can be a bit keen long press for me, and I thought maybe you could back long press and get back out of it and running, because you know the Glancing Queen is just going to stalk whatever's leading coming to the last and hope to pop the last and then clear away up the hill. That's the way she needs to be ridden.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it in my dreams going, as Rodway says when he comes in. I've dreamt about it, said the Big Bear. But I can see the Glancing Queen did it. I think it's interesting that she runs here, to be honest. They could have kept her, some mare's company, couldn't they? She steps out of it. Mm-hmm. She obviously ran in 2 champion bumpers. She'll do for me. She's skinny enough now, I think, but getting weight all around. And again, exactly what Barry said. Who have you tipped, Batch?
Le Home Press. Impressed me at Ascot. I give Barry's horse a chance as well. Back left-handed, didn't really jump out to his left at Ascot. Won at Exeter the time before.
Yeah.
Come On Teddy as well. Saw that run at Uttoxeter, sorry, and jumped well enough. Won the Potemps final here as well. So.
Exactly. He could be a 5-ball kid. He's gone for that today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Le Home Press for me.
This is the Dipper Novice Chase then. 2 mile 4 and a bit. Of course, on the new course we are. 5 of the last 7 have gone on to win at the Cheltenham Festival. So a key race going forward for the rest of the season, whether it's all about Cheltenham or not. This is going to produce winners. Galley Hill, the one non-runner for Team Henderson. Also to keep an eye on, that's for sure. Oscar Elite was the other one that I was hovering over. It's all gone a bit quiet for the Tizzies again, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has a little bit. They started off absolutely flying, and just a few days.
At this time of the season, I spoke to Ollie Murphy yesterday on a feature show he did. He was great, Murphy. He said, I'm inoculating now. He's of course got 2 very big chances today. Tamar Bridge in one of our races and Brewing Up a Storm. These horses won't have been inoculated. He had the Wolf go well in the second race as well.
Yeah, finished second.
So, they can drop off a bit. It has to happen. Remember we had that equine flu. It was awful a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Just before COVID. It was a precursor for what was to come. But it needs to be done, TC, doesn't it? But punters, tricky time it can be, generally.
It would be great if information like that was actually published, because I had no idea before you just said it, for example, that Ollie Murphy was inoculated.
You think they should have to do it? Because Nichols just comes out straight away. He's the leader, Paul Nichols, isn't he, with this? Everyone knows in January.
Every year he does the same thing. January he gives them the flu jab and leaves them off for a while. He'd have very few runners. Yeah, that's kind of generally acceptable. It's a good point that you make there, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we'll see how we go on that. So Barry, is it a lay of long press? Obviously, you've got your lucky 15 leg in this.
No, I was going to back late press and look to trade out in running shorter and green up. That was the kind of idea, because he can be a little bit keen. He's very few miles on the clock, and I'm sure he will learn to settle better. But if Fatitas doesn't go on here, he could be left up to the favourite to kind of make the running. And I thought he could trade short when Glancing Queen could stalk him and Come On Teddy could stalk him. Good money for Miller's Bank again, continues to shorten into 6.4 now. Your favourite's the biggest it's ever been on the exchange. It's 2.82 now, so 15-8 long press.
That needs to jump better for me, Miller's Bank.
Yeah. Nice horse, isn't it, though?
Nice horse, unseated round Newbury.
And Hal's horses, they do tend to get slightly overlooked in the betting, so I'm not surprised it did drift out. And the fact it's coming back in probably shows a bit of confidence there. It looked held, though, didn't it, by Pic Dory before it unseated last time. So Fantasticas, I think, is the one might take them along here. Let's hope for an honest gallop. We should say, TT, it was a bit of a slow motion finish in the first chase, wasn't it? Slowed by 27 seconds, all right, 3 mile 2 on New Year's Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this isn't the worst winter ground we've ever had here, is it?
No, it looks all right out there. Obviously, I haven't walked the course as I'm in the studio, but it looks perfectly fine to the eye. And they were crawling up the hill, weren't they? They really were.
Are you a mental course walker? Do you look at it and
Batch thinking this is awful, but
you're all mental course walkers, he thinks. Absolutely, you've been doing it all your career.
Yeah. Depending on the weather, mind.
Yeah, it doesn't look muddy or anything.
That's
what I
in a
did.
Dipper, Batch. Did you ever ride in a Dipper? You've ridden at Musselburgh, haven't you? We'll get into that. We'll go up to Scotland.
I didn't know if Carruthers had run in the Dipper or not. I'm not sure in his early stages.
You usually remember these things.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't think he did. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it is like we say, Champ was the last winner to go on and win, obviously, the old RSA, but Defi Desoy, great horses come out of this. It's going to be a spectacle this afternoon here on RP Live. We've got the home of jump racing. This is the place to be. Myself, Dave Orton, Mattie, Batch, Tom Collins for the final time here at the Racing Post, and Barry Orr, who I'm delighted to say will be joining me for the rest of the year with you guys as well. TC, take it away. Commentary of the Dipper, please.
Oh, God, here we go. All right, they're coming up to the start. The starter's got his flag up and they're off. Who's out in the lead? Lompress going to take him on. Then they're not going very quick early. Fantasticas up the inside, Miller's Bank on the outside. The Glancing Queen back in fourth, Oscar Elite in fifth, Gladiator Allen just pulling in behind in sixth. Lovely jump from Lompress. They all jumped it well actually over the first fence. And they're settled down into a nice rhythm.
They have indeed. Are you surprised to see your selection eyeballing the leader? The Fav's up there with Fantasticas, isn't he?
I'm not surprised at all, and he's jumping better than Fantasticas as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Deutsch just cut across Sam Twiston-Davis if Sam Twiston-Davis' horse misses the next fence.
You've got to think about Charlie Deutsch, haven't you? Always been sort of like given the lead in races.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive rider. Venetia Williams obviously likes her horses to go forward, but the jockeys just tend to give Charlie the lead no matter what he's on. To my eye, it doesn't look like he goes very hard in every race. Obviously, it differs. But in this race, they're not going hard at all. 28 mile an hour, 29 mile an hour, just over 16-second sectional. Lompress settled really nicely out in front, though I am surprised he hasn't cut across Fantasticas there. He had a 2-length lead and decided to stay on the outside.
Yeah,
it don't always work like that, Tom. Just because he's Charlie Deutsch, you don't just give him a hand in the lead. It don't always work like that.
Have you got a horse that can ever get near him in the lead these days?
That's what I mean. Yeah, you've got to sum up the situation. He's not going that quick, but then it's clear that the others don't want to be up there in the front.
Interesting to see the Glancing Queen not giving him too much rope, Barry, as well.
Yeah, Glancing Queen currently 3.95, 2.5 Lompress. Just jumping here, I got a bit tight there. Gladiator Allen.
Bit keen, Barry.
Yeah, very keen.
Very
I
keen.
think he's a bit of a headbanger, the horse. I don't know whether they want to give him his head someday and let him get off in front or. But he has got bags of talent if they can just harness it someday and make sure he lasts us home. But the favourite, he's 2.56 now. The favourite, a little bit iffy at that.
Yeah, he just had to put himself right there, Batch, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we're in the home straight for the first time, going around in the Dipper, the first of 8 races for you here on Racing Post Live. We sign off at 3:10 with the rail kill. Could we see a new Stayers Hurdle contender emerge from that massive jump there? Let's go back to top course commentator Tom Collins.
Lompress, lovely jump in the last fence in the back straight. They're just turning around. Now going to the back straight. Fantasticas in second. Miller's Bank just getting nudged into the bridle in third. The Glancing Queen travelling nicely in fourth. Oscar Elite still cruising up the inside in fifth. Gladiator Allen is now settled back in sixth alongside Come On Teddy, and last is the outsider Zurikin.
Unfortunately, that was more coherent than I was hoping for. I was only to give you a few pelters during that. I have to say though, Tom, if you're going to America, you need to give it off.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
You need to get a bit more Dave Orton in your life. That's what you do. Honestly, if there's a ticket for me, I'll come and show you how it's done. Come On Teddy catching my eye as well. Just a little bit short there, wasn't he, in there? Zurikin, the big outsider, right out the back. What do we make of the Glancing Queen at the moment? This is what I'm fascinated about, Batch.
She's travelling well, she's jumping well. You'd be happy where you're situated at the minute with Tom Cannon.
I think it's quite a clever ride from another TC. Tom Cannon in the race. Because if all of a sudden he starts sprinting, she's not going to want to give him too much rope, is she, TC? And she usually races a bit more quietly. So we'll see. Oscar Elite
that's
going
his
well
main
on the
danger.
inside.
He's got to keep an eye on Charlie Deutsch because in all form, that's his main danger. So you keep him covered first and foremost.
All right, OK. We are getting to the business end of the race. Barry Orr, what's hot? Miller's Bank had a look at that one.
Evens Lompress now, 11-4 the Glancing Queen. Miller's Bank out to 19, 9 Come On Teddy, and Gladiator Allen's at 33. But your favourite very strong now.
I think this is 4 out, TC. I might be totally wrong.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either, but we'll go with 4 out. Lompress jumping really well. They're just quickening up on the front end now. 2 lengths between the second Fantasticas and the third, the Glancing Queen. Lompress coming to the next fence. Charlie Deutsch
this could
on
be
a stride.
out,
lovely jump.
Oh, lovely jump. Unlike Miller's Bank, who unseated last time. He's had a think there. Oh, I'm not sure about this. Oscar Elite, what's he got? We'll find out. Gladiator Allen going to the back as well. Fantasticas still going all right, isn't it?
Yeah, still travelling, yeah.
I wonder
say
whether this is-
Deutsch just need to get a couple of lengths and come in.
Yeah, again, in some very well-known colours.
Gladiator Allen's gone.
Oh dear, yeah, he has.
Loads of them made a mistake.
Is he up? He's
Miller's
up,
Bank
okay.
is gone as well.
Miller's Bank unseated again. Could he
Yeah.
be back hurdling? Right then, TC, come on, this is your time, mate. 3 out.
3 out, 4 horses, 5 horses still travelling nicely. Lompress out in front, Fantasticas in second.
Come on, Tom!
To the
Go on,
third line.
TC. Give it
Jump
somewhere. Look at the Glancing Queen.
Lompress lovely over. Oh, pecked on landing. The Glancing Queen, beautiful jump back in third. Fantasticas still travelling. Come On Teddy and Oscar Elite now finding
around,
the
Deutsch.
pace a bit tough out in front. Lompress, he's looking very short on the market right now. 2.0 2 on the market. The Glancing Queen travelling well back in third. Fantastic.
Oscar Elite
still
not
in
out of
second.
this.
He's making ground under Brendan Powell. They're coming to the second last. Big jump needed here. Crossing the road, crossing there. Long press still in the lead. The Glancing Queen looking for a gap.
She's classy, and she get to him?
It looks like she's a length down right now. Big jump
It's
needed
all on
by
this
both.
2 out.
Oh,
Big
yes.
jump by Long Press and
Good
by the
jump
Glancing
by the Queen.
Looks like a duel from now between
She's
the top
getting
2
weight.
favourites.
Come on, Dodge.
Long
I tell
Press
you what
out in
she's going to
front.
do him.
The Glancing Queen.
all about this.
Come on, the Queen.
It's all about this jump.
Come on, TC, call him home.
He's seen one. Boom.
Hughes jump.
Oh,
Both
she
of
wasn't
them cracked
great
on
there.
early, but Long Press moves clear by 2 lengths, 3 lengths. Charlie Deutsch, this horse is well handicapped. £12 rise in the weights makes no difference. 4 lengths clear, 5 lengths clear. Long Press out in front. 4 favourite backers. The first race on RP Live. Back in second, the Glancing Queen. I think third is Oscar Elite.
Is there
Was it Fantastic?
Oh, it was fantastic as
Fantastic,
fourth at Oscar
so
Elite.
close to
Damn
a
it.
perfect commentary, TC. Who knew? We've been hiding them under a bushel all this time, haven't we? Great stuff. All right, we're off and running. The Fav wins the first, Barry.
Yeah, and Glancing Queen traded short in running Dave. 2 out, looked like she was set to pick up the favourite. Traded at 2.22 in running the Glancing Queen, but jump of the last, then the favourite went 1.80, so 4 to 5 on jump of the last, and then once she made a mistake at the last, it was all over. She was the winner was 33 to 1 on a couple of strides after jump of the last. So good performance from Long Press. Got a nice bright future ahead of it, no doubt. Just interesting to see if the traders in the Betfair Sportsbook trading team want to quote it for anything, but definitely a horse going in the right direction.
Yes. All right, Barry. We're thinking probably Mars Chase would be on that. I mean, that would be the obvious one.
2.5. Yeah, that'll be the obvious race for him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So a lovely prospect, said the spotlights in the race for that, and no worries about going left-handed, right-handed. He's 3 from 3 since his return this season. Obviously a classy animal. He's on the right side of the age. Of course, happy birthday to all the horses today.
Yeah, it's all their birthdays, yeah. Yeah, but that was impressive. Jumped well, jumped the last 2
Yeah,
very
well done, Batch. You were keen on it as well.
Very keen. The dancing, she was really brave, and Tom was brave at the last. He knew he needed a good jump. He was very long, and she's come up for him, and it was just a little bit too long, and she just landed a little bit flat. But listen, I don't think if she'd have winged it, she would have caught the winner. It was impressive.
Let's talk about the form of the race. The fact that Fantastic Ass, who had charmed run, shall we say, on the inside, you wanted to be handy in that race, didn't go hard early, turning not a sprint, but certainly from 4 out they got going, didn't they? In fact, he's held on the third. Some disappointments in behind.
Yeah, I think so. He got given a good ride by Sam. I think the 2 horses that we expect to finish first and second finished first and second. The horse who was well handicapped has won the race by a margin. The Glancing Queen had good form in the book.
What do you do with the Glancing Queen now? Go Mayor's route again?
Maybe. I think she's good enough to compete against the boys, but Long Press is obviously just really well treated.
Yeah, I think even though she made that final fence error, shall we call it, there's a difference between mistake and error, isn't there? If you're doing analysis,
she jumped well.
She did jump well, really well up until that point. And she's got that classy model, hasn't she? I know you wouldn't mind seeing her, up against the more seasoned types, even maybe in the mares at Cheltenham as well. Of course, put the kettle on, runs 2:40 at Fairyhouse. We are going to Tramore. We'll keep an eye on everything that's going on for you out there. We've got to go up to Musselburgh next, though. Shall we pop north of the border, as we say here? 1:40 then, Barry. Some known characters in here, and I'm going for one that you've tipped before. Can you guess who it is?
The one that avoided Rev.
Yes, there you go. We've been doing this too long, Barry, haven't we?
The dead 8 here for each way backers, Dave, so you could be all right. I backed it in the race last year. It was just touched off. But in a race on this card last year, not this particular race. It's the Hogmanay Handicap, I think, that was just touched off in last year. But the horse I like, and it sneaks in at the bottom there off 114, is Kavanagh's Cross. Took a while to get off the mark for new connections. Ex-Irish horse, but did it nicely when beating Rowdy Rustler in Kelso earlier last month. Was £2 out of handicap, but Angus Chelida claims a valuable 5, so that's not a worry this time round either. A 7-year-old going the right direction, always seems to run his race. So what I was going to do here, Tom, was just back at win only on the exchange, currently trading at 4.3. Happy to be a price taker. That's bang on 130. So we'll have 50 quid on Kavanagh's Cross at that price. Ian Jardine, obviously, would love to get a winner on New Year's Day at one of his local tracks. And I think Angus Chelida is very good claim, value for his £5 claim.
And if you believe in Sod's Law, you'll be all over my tip now then, because of course it's a second string now. Ian Jardine as well. Barry gets off, I'm jumping on. It's one of those things. Connor Farrell, he'll be the man for me. I thought, didn't think he was disgraced actually in the fight in fifth last time. He's a horse that likes to be up there. I definitely thought that Geronimo was one to take on here. I don't know about you, Batch.
I quite like Dornan, yeah.
Well,
He's second
all right.
at Doncaster behind
Very
Tommy's,
straightforward horse, isn't he?
Tommy's Oscar. Yeah,
I
you
just
know
thought
what you're going to get, I think.
there was some. If you remember, Take It Easy got badly hampered in that race, and I don't know. I just thought everything went right for him there.
Yeah, I just liked him. Stoner's choice. Dropped
Hughes
back
and
into
McCain,
it, dropped
front
back
runner
into
around
it,
Musselburgh.
Dropped
It's-
down in great. Fergal O'Brien, when he travels up north, he always does well, and these horses are in good form at the minute as well. So he has to be respected. But yeah,
Just kept it simple.
Yep.
You've had a ride up there, of course, haven't you?
Yes.
I said to you, what's it like? Now, you say this is the sharpest track
One
out
of
there,
the,
don't you?
yeah, I think it is.
What
yeah.
is the shark? Because come on, what is the shark? Because I
It's
thought
just
it
the
was
bend.
Fakenham.
It's just the bend. Well, Fakenham would be the sharpest with the bends, but the
Sharpish?
sharpest.
Sharpest.
Yeah, and Musselburgh is very going around the bends. That's why I had to put the all-weather there, because if you had firm ground and a bit of rain, you have to go there. You have to go around the bend.
the same
With
at
you have to go
Kempton as
around
well,
there
isn't
with
it?
your knee out, like
Really?
they're doing the speedway. Yeah.
It's the same at Kempton, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
and Fontwell as well, turning tracks basically.
Fontwell, I think Fontwell is just. I think that was due to a lot of bad riding. I think because it just seemed to be the
You
same.
always have to get political.
Well,
don't you?
if you look at it, it was always the
You've always
same
got to
people
be in
that
the
were coming
body.
down. You can't educate pork, Dave.
Well, no, you can't. Absolutely not. And of course, Mr. Fontwell they were talking to. But you had one ride, didn't you? And you came second on it, and it was over before you knew it, basically.
Yeah, made the run in. It ran in the Triumph Hurdle, actually. Yeah, made the run in
What was
and
it
just
called?
for John Ryan,
mean-
Macintosh. Yeah.
That's got way of tumbleweeds are going through the screen at the moment. TC, what wins the 140?
Another tricky race. I'm going to start with Stoner's Choice, though. Mattie's already given him a good little talk up there for Fergal O'Brien. He's had a great start to the year. Max Kendrick, regular rider. Usually you'd want to see a strong rider in the saddle. Max hasn't had too many rides, but I like him in the saddle. I think he's a good jockey. Stoner's Choice hasn't really lived up to what was expected after a brilliant novice hurdling career when he won 4 of his 6 starts. But I reckon this drop down in grade will suit him. Last time out, he ran against Pylon. The Pylon would smash this lot.
He runs later, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Pylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, yeah. I mean, a really competitive race, 2:35 I think it is, isn't it? All right then, you've had the tips. What are you going for out there? A little bit of time to let us know. So I'll have a little look at the chat box while the guys go on. Wada Rev, says Tom Leach, I'm on each way. Do you remember when you were disappointed that Ollie Murphy horse couldn't beat Long Press at Exeter, Dave? Yes, I was, says Hugh Masson. I was really disparaging about a guy called Gunsight Ridge. It's just like chance after chance, but actually he bumped
Full
into
marking
one
out.
big time there. Hugh's right, isn't he? So, don't tell me we're going back in on Gunsight Ridge next time. Come on, Hugh. But Hugh Masson says monster, by the way, as well. And he's having a bit of a pop at you saying not a handicap TC. You said, well, this is a well-handicapped horse.
It is a well-handicapped
He's
horse.
running in a grade race. I see where Hugh's coming from. Absolutely right. We're lucky to be getting rid of him, Hugh.
Well,
to be
handicapped off
totally honest.
148. There you go.
Great to have you all out there with us today. I'll keep an eye on everything. Of course, we've got loads of races today, so not much time in between them. So I'll keep an eye on the chats. All right. Looks like Miller's Bank will indeed be going back to
Hurdles.
Back to hurdles after that, I think, as well. A lot of people are saying out there.
It seemed a strange route to go to Cheltenham after Newbury. You've unseated at Newbury and haven't jumped well around Newbury, which is, I always think, was a fair track, flat, fences come at you nicely. And then to go to Cheltenham, I don't know, it just seems strange. It's a big ask, I thought, to go around there.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough. Are they the toughest fences to jump, Cheltenham?
They're nice. It's not so much the fences, it's where they're situated. It's like you run down at a couple, like the first round the bend, you sort of get going, they can land out on the head a little bit, and 3 out as well. They're just running away from you, and you're quickening up to get a position. So it's more where they're situated.
Tricky.
Yeah, it's just tricky
That
fences.
second last has caught a lot of controversy. Now, we've got some more social interaction on the screen. Dimp is the stock has risen here at the Racing Post because I believe you sent us a Christmas card, didn't you? Which is very kind of you indeed. And you say, brewing up a storm and spirit of the games each way would be my main picks. Well, I hope they bring you festive joy.
Dim sent a Christmas card.
Sent a Christmas card.
Well, next year, Dim, could you put some money in it?
Because DC's going to need it, let's face it. All right, yeah, great stuff. Listen, absolutely, we're rocking away. All right, we've given some tips, Barry. We must be very short to the off time now as well. What's hot? Looks like Cavernous Cross is coming in.
Yeah, Cavernous Cross, your favourite now at 4.4 on the Betfair Exchange. Outside of that, 4.8, you're on about 4-4 Stoner's Choice also. So it's each of 2 now. There's not a whole lot between them. 8-6 Strong Glance, 11 Voida Rev.
Okay, 11s. Yeah, I can just see this. I think this has got bounced back on it. Okay, we're off and running then. 140 at Musselburgh. I'll adopt the commentator's role with split screens here from what we can see, but Geronimo is in front at the moment, as expected. Keeping it warm up front is Aurora Thunder. Much better than she showed last time. I spoke to Lucinda Russell about this one a couple back, of course. Lucinda of Ahoy Senior fame. She thinks there's a race in this and maybe it will bounce back today. Up there as well. I spoke to Ollie Murphy about Strong Glance. 1 or 2 runs for Ollie up there. He said the track will suit. Really weak in the betting out the back at the moment, taking a bit of a tug. Along with Kavanagh's Cross, who has got that solid Cheltenham and the win form next to its name. Angus Cheltenham got Christopher Wood. Still to come, hasn't he, for Paul Nichols. 2 from 2 at the track. Looking for Wider Rev. Nice, enthusiastic hold. Along with Ashington, who likes to course and distance. Some famous cutters for Brian Ellington. Back with a win on his last run over hurdles as well. And Stoner's Choice going really nicely in the midfield alongside Caius Marcius. That is your pack. And we're going a leisurely enough go.
Yeah, steady enough.
Where do you want to be at this point, do you think, Batch? If you're out the back, you think, oh, come on, get on with it.
You do, yeah, because you don't really want to turn it into a sprint because you're going to have to make up more ground. So hopefully in the straight here, they might just sort of up the tempo a little bit and then you'll sort of be happy. But yeah, at the minute, if you're out the back, you're worried about they're gonna quicken and just sort of.
Yeah, I'm very happy with mine of Wider Rev at the moment, TC. You must be quite happy with yours as well because you've got a target on my back.
Yeah, Stoner's Choice travelling nicely in 3rd or 4th position right now. Brian Hughes, who rides Musselburgh and all the northern tracks really well, just setting the pace on Geronimo. And, you know, he's probably... let me have a look at the betting. I'm surprised he's not favourite running, actually, Geronimo.
It's a really good jump that from Geronimo as well. He's one of those riders, isn't he, just before we go to Barry, that like your Jamie Spencers, your Richie Hughes on the flat, when you see them in front, you know, you used to see Ruby Walsh up front as well, they're just dictating it. They're not going fast at all. You don't want to be out the back, like Kavanagh's Cross at the moment, Barry, but perhaps you're not worried.
I'm not worried at all, Dave. There's only, 5 lengths between first to last. There's nothing in it. They're all travelling well in themselves. There's nothing between the top 3 in the betting. It's nearly 4 each of 3, although Geronimo now 11-4, 11-4 Kavanagh's Cross, 4 Stoner's Choice, it's 12 bar. So I wouldn't be too concerned at all at the way Kavanagh's is travelling. I think he's been jumping quite sweetly at the back and he's getting a nice hunt around the inside there.
Yeah, they are very concertina now, aren't they, as they go on that all-weather strip. All right, when you say it's one of the sharpest tracks out there, they do tend to get racing, don't they? Just coming to that 3rd last, off the home bend, they chicane in.
Yeah,
and it's a long time to be in front down that home straight.
It runs downhill and you can nick a few lengths. You can kick on down there and then whiz round the bend and... yeah, if you can nick a few around there, it's invaluable.
Sounds like an exciting track to ride this, doesn't it? What went wrong there,
Mistake
TC?
there by Stoner's Choice, just dived it, now under pressure.
All right, Batch is on a 2-time edge. TC has put up Stoner's Choice. Barry likes Kavanagh's Cross out the back, and I like Wider Rev, who's still going really, really well. Good luck with
Ashington
your
on the outside,
selections.
Dave.
Yeah, Ashington loves this gaff. It's just whether he's sort of reached that level again now. Aurora Thunder not done. We're just rowing away a little bit, Stoners, isn't he, Match Kendrick?
Yeah, he just missed that one, the hurdle, 2 hurdles back, and this is a horse who's got plenty of stamina and it doesn't have the speed of some of these. So you kind of want to get into a rhythm on him, and that mistake seems to.
It just increased the speed, Tom, and he just had a dive at it. Then he just caught him out a little bit.
It does give him a bit of confidence issues as well, probably, doesn't it? You know, you have to.
6-4 now to 1 in front.
6-4 Geronimo.
Yeah, he's getting the right solo. Wider Rev, your horse Dave is into 7.8, and then Aurora Thunder 15.
It's just whether he wants it from here, I think. Old Wider Rev. We will see. I'd be pretty confident that he can pick.
He's not panicking on Kavanagh's Cross, ain't
No,
he?
he's not. No, he's not. This is very, very interesting. Angus Cheltenham, who obviously feels like he's got a lot of horse underneath him, and he's looking at the stablemate up front as they turn in. Then TC, I don't know, you're struggling a bit. Come on, Wider Rev. We're going to take it up here. 2 out. Batch, call it.
Yeah,
Kavanagh's has gone favoured on the exchange.
Yeah, so it could be a Jardine 1-2 this. Come on, Wider Rev. What do you got left? You're going to need to sprint away, Conor Farrell. Look at on the inside, though. Kavanagh's Cross.
This
is going to be between the 2, isn't it? I think Geronimo's fallen in a hole.
Yeah, falling in a hole.
Come on. I'm going to say we're 2 out, aren't we? This is the second last. Yeah, okay, Aurora Thunder's there. Kavanagh's Cross. Look at this. Put aside Barry Hill's going to get this. Stoner's Choice not done with as well. What's he doing on the inside? Because Aurora Thunder filling her lungs.
It's 4 now.
This is all on the last.
Angus.
Aurora's going to come up front. Kavanagh's Cross has got it. Angus Cheltenham.
Aurora's has done it.
Oh, okay. Aurora's gone on.
138 on the exchange. 138 on the exchange.
Better than she showed last time. They're digging deep. The 2 of them are coming well clear. Looks like Stoner's Choice is going to pick up Wider Rev. Did they go a little bit too hard up front? Because Aurora's was nicely sat in 3rd. She picked him off. Kavanagh's Cross flattered to the sea. Stoner's Choice an honourable 3rd. and Voida Rev well clear of the rest. Exciting stuff. Must have been exciting track to ride this. When you listen to Batch talking about how you whiz around the bends and all that sort of thing, tactically, where do you get it? Well done. And well done to Conor Mccann as well, claiming 10. That counted for a lot there. Then, Barry, when did they know that she was going to see them off? Coming to the last?
Just going to the last, yeah. She's a Betfair SP Aurora Thunder of 11.4. Hit a high in running on the Betfair Exchange of 110, it says here. Just let me scroll down. That was probably to nothing. Yeah, small stuff at around 80 and 90. £3 of 55. But Cavanagh's Cross hit a low of 1.11, 9 to 1 on day for 2,000 quid. And same at 1 to 8 and all other prices all the way down. So, yeah. Unfortunately, there we get run into second place after trading at 9's on.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Gave that a good ride, the young boy, didn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's bided his time.
And she hit the flat spot, didn't she?
Yeah.
Which is probably why she went quite big. I think it is a she, isn't it? I'm sure this is the horse I spoke to.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it is. Okay, all right. You're tempted to say Mighty Thunder, aren't you, when you're looking at these comments? But she's such a good trainer around here. This is her gaff, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And just to go back to the jockey, Conor Mccann, plenty of people probably have never heard of him. He's actually 4 from 9 in his career as a jockey. He's made a brilliant start, yeah.
Did you go and watch him at Kempton on the ponies, which is something you like to do when no one else is there? Did you?
Yeah, not Conor McCann.
That dedicated his TC. He goes watching young jockeys in ponies here.
Oh, don't make it sound weird.
I was saying this has just got
Thank goodness he's off to America.
with his hole in his jeans.
Yeah,
Stoney's choice stayed on, finished third.
Yeah, he actually ran an okay race
Yeah.
after missing a couple down the back.
Yeah.
don't make it sound weird, Fat. We are going to miss you, TC. All right, okay. Now, we're building up to the 2 o'clock at Cheltenham. This is an absolute belter. We've had the Paddy Power Gold Cup. We've had the Racing Post Gold Cup. Now we're on to the New Year's Day handicap. This is basically, I think 8 of the last 10 winners this hadn't run in the 2 biggies. Do we want fresh legs coming into this, Barry Orr?
I don't know. The horses all seem to be holding their form well, like the likes of Cool Cody. Obviously, I think Al Nadam is a worthy favourite. He's 7.0. Zanza, that's the springer in the market, is into 8 to 1 on the exchange. Cool Cody, 8.6, always runs his race. Famambos, this Vola is 9. Galahad Quest is 12. Absolutely friendless in the market, Galahad Quest, and that's the one I fancy. Obviously ran a cracker here in the Paddy Power, wasn't beaten that far at all by Midnight Shadow and Patakarat. Is a Grade 2 winner of a juvenile hurl here a couple of years back as well, around Cheltenham. Is a horse that I think off his mark of 134. He's just turned 6. I think there's still plenty of improvement in him. I'm willing to forgive his fall in entry last day after running in the Paddy Power. He was sent off favourite. He just pitched on landing. He came down a little steep. It was a little bit novice, if anything. And I think he could put that behind him here and getting duly rewarded with decent odds. So we're going to back him in the win and place market, please. Tom, we're going to take 12 in the win market. Happy to be a price taker there as well. And in the 4 places on the Betfair Exchange, he's currently trading at around the 3.3 mark, which is 9 to 4. So we're going to split our stake here. We're going to have 25 quid on the win market at 12 and 25 quid at 3.3 in the 4 places market on the Betfair Exchange.
Love it, Barry. So going for the baby of the pack then, the 5-year-old Galahad Quest, who, if you've been watching us all season, Barry put this up. Of course, it was an eye-catcher in the Paddy Power, and just don't know what happened to it last time. That's one of 3 I'm backing. I've got Galahad on my side. I've had a bit on Al Nadam as well. Paul Keeley, mad keen on this. Watch it back in the Ultimate, a favourite, basically, last season. He's banged there to 2 out.
Didn't get the trip, did he?
He didn't get the trip.
No.
And I don't know. If you were on him that day, Patch, you're obviously saying, we need to go back and trip Governor and all that sort of thing. I'm slightly... There's 2 camps out there. A horse that cruises over 3 miles at Cheltenham and doesn't get over from 2 out. They're always going to be travelling the best, aren't they? Because they're the speed horses in the race. So sometimes it can be a bit of a red herring. But I do think that now the rain's come, there's a big one in him, I think, this chap. And I can understand why he's favourite. Of course, he missed out at the Racing Post Gold Cup in December for this. But the one I'm going to put on top is Vienna Court for the informed Tristan Davis team. I met another young horse in the pack and is a novice, actually, isn't she? So she won last time at the December meeting against mares, but she absolutely hosed it that day. And I think a mark of 135, despite the fact that she's gone up 12 pounds in the weights, a little bit like Long Press, basically. Last time the handicappers said, right, here you go, we'll force your hand. I think Sam Tristan Davis, I'm hoping will keep it pretty straightforward. and if you can get a lot of places out there, you know, in your place markets, all that sort of stuff, she will do for me.
I think he will not. Sorry, Nigel Twiston-Davies likes his horses very handy. They always have. That's the way they're ridden.
Yeah.
And she jumped really good the last time as well. So yeah, he will keep it simple, Sammy. Sorry.
No problem at all. No, she also jumped really well, Vienna Court, when she beat Precious Helena as well. So if she can sit on the outside of the leaders and jump her as well as she did last time, I think she's a big player in here. There are a couple of other horses that I like in this race. Galahad Quest is going to be my selection. Sounds like we're all interested in Galahad. Yeah, I've been on the show the last two times that he's run.
Yeah.
I thought he ran really promisingly at Cheltenham behind Cool Cody. Well, Cool Cody would have finished ahead of him. Cool Cody fell behind Midnight Shadow. And then last time, much like what Barry said, just forgive him the fall. He genuinely jumps really well. I don't tend to back horses that fell last time out, just a personal preference, but I'm happy to overlook that for Galahad Quest. And the other one is Funambule Civala. Venetia Williams, Charlie Deutsch, you've already seen have success today with Long Press, and this horse is just on a massive upward curve right now. Yeah. Beaten by a horse in first flow last time, who's a Grade 1 winner. So I think those two against the field. The one horse I'm laying, place and win, is Zanza.
Oh yes, come on, let's have the Zanza chat. Who is with Zanza today? First time cheap pieces just to snare you in. You are. Yeah. Has he burnt you? Has he done something to offend you, Zanza?
No,
because you said that with absolute relish, didn't you? I'm place laying him. I'm win laying him.
Yeah, I just watch him every time he runs, and you know he's an eye catcher, isn't he? Because he stays on every time, but he just misses every fence. I can never back a horse that can't jump like that. It's not like he jumps well, he's just a bit awkward. He misses every fence, he just plows through them.
He must be so frustrated because he always finishes, you know.
Yeah, and everyone's like, Zanza next time, Zanza next time. No,
Tom O'Brien, his regular pilot, obviously, come on, we need to keep his mind on the job here.
If you were riding a horse that's known for making mistakes, are you going, but has the engine to be better than the level he's running at, are you going into the race thinking, I could win this, or are you going into the race thinking, I need to stay on at all costs?
Yeah, first and foremost, I could win this, but then knowing the way he jumps, there's always that thought in the back of your mind. It's like, especially them tricky fences I was talking about earlier, thinking, I just pray to meet this one right. You just want to meet it right.
Roxanne! You're just to infinity and beyond, Batch, absolutely. Yeah, Zanza. I mean, if Zanza wins this, we'll all have egg on our faces, won't we? But I don't know. There are cliff horses and there are Zanzas out there. Absolutely. But he's been backed again, Barry. The Legion are coming back in for him, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly have. And I remember last day when he came from the clouds after, like Tom says, plowing through a couple of fences, everyone was like, oh, Jesus, you see Zanza's run there. It won't for next day. You couldn't face into him. You want some constitution to be backing him. But he's into 9-1. Yeah, he was the springer in the market. But your favourite still, and Adam at 7.6, 8 Cool Cody, 8.6 for Ambo Savola. 11 Galahad Quest, a small few quid for that. Riders on the Storm, somewhat a forgotten horse, Grade 1 winner. He's tumbled down the weights, obviously, and he's in here into a handicap, but he's 15. Simply the bet's 11. Some money for that as well.
Yeah, it's two interesting horses there. Tom Segal, isn't he having a great Christmas period? Tom out there at the moment. This is one of his two horses in the race. Tongue Tie last time seemed to make a bit of a difference with him not been with Richard Hobson for long. You remember, of course, he was with Tom Taff and now retired trainer. He was going to be one of the bankers of the festival for everyone, wasn't he? It all went wrong, and then Nigel Twiston-Davies inherited him, and he really took off. He is interesting. He's handicapped to certainly go close, I think, as well. We've got a social on there as well. Stephen Hughes joins us back on the party. He says, I'm following my cliff horse. Okay, not Zanza. Dayranda Karjak for the King team. Can't believe this horse is not capable of winning off this mark. They keep pitching him into decent company, don't they, Stephen? Which is interesting. They could go to one of the smaller tracks. I don't know, the owners always want to run at Cheltenham or the likes of that. Yeah, he's interesting. And Simply the Bets is the other one. Now, Paul Nichols has got a miserable record in this. 12 winners, 12 runners, sorry.
No.
12 winners? He's absolutely
That's a terrible record.
He's still unhappy. That would be Nichols, I can tell you. He's got a miserable record in this. 12 runners in the past decade, just 2 have hit the frame.
He thought the step back into it might help this horse, didn't he?
Yes,
said that.
I'd forgive anything that ran at Aintree that day, almost. I think Galahad Quest ran that day as well, didn't he? On that card, he did. Well, it was horrible ground, wasn't it, and all that sort of stuff, and windy and cold and rotten. And he's a keen horse. His 6th in the Paddy Power on his first run for Nichols was interesting. And of course, he is a Cheltenham Festival winner. Of course, when he was trained by Harry Whittington, he was really good that day. He was just on the crest of a wave, wasn't he? Cobbers gets on Harry Cobden with him. So look, really interesting horses. David Karjak, I give a bit of love for as well. The Moors have got their team in great shape, haven't they? Won the second, of course, with fullback and high up in the air, a horse that's
was nice to see Porticello win the other day.
Didn't he win
and
well? Do you know what? I've got a theory on him. He can't jump.
Which is it's funny. I saw Gary at Fontwell Boxing Day, and I took a horse I was schooling. He's got a lovely outdoor ring, sand and fences close together, and they really get horses jumping well. And he said he's a lovely big horse. He said, but he cannot jump.
He can't jump.
And he's been in this.
And there was a 4 furlong
Yeah.
run from the last to the line, wasn't it? It was Porticello's day, I think.
thought he jumped better though at Chepstow because Gary.
It was a Donny where he left it behind. We covered it on this show, didn't we? And he was coming back at the finish.
He said he's been in this ring. He said I don't bother to school him in the schooling field now. I'll take him in this ring, and for a French horse that's rare because they start jumping them when they're 2 or 3 over there. So. He said it just frustrates him because he's got
almost
a hell
give
of
him
an
more
engine.
chance in a Cesarewitz than you would have tried, wouldn't you? He's that sort of horse. But anyway, of course, we had the finale at Chepstow as well, the Welsh National as well. I Will Do It, massive gamble. So sad to see just 4 owners, wasn't it? Of course, we've got a huge Cheltenham crowd today, haven't we? So it's amazing. It's only 40 miles away from Wales, isn't it? It just seems a little bit like party politics coming out at the moment. So if you're there, let us know where you are. Great to have you, of course, watching with us. Good figures today. Lots of chat going on. It's all good. Who's with Cool Cody out there? I'm deserting him today. Of course, he's turned 11. I think they're going to attack him a bit sooner this time. That's why I'm not with him, basically. £4 rise, I'm surprised about. The handicapper obviously didn't rate it that much, did he? The new Racing Post Gold Cup, December Gold Cup, as it's traditionally known. I can't believe they're going to give him as easy a time.
They won't give him as much this time. They done that the last time, and he was going a good lick. And from a jockey's point of view, you think, can he really keep this up? And he did. So they will attack him early. I love horses like that who wear their heart on his sleeves. He goes out and he jumps. It's great. On the dam, it was a good run. I think the run at Haydock, they rode him like it was a prep run.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Behind Brave Man's Game,
Yeah.
and Dan's come out and said he will love soft ground. We think it'll run really well. And one down the bottom as well. Gary Moore has come out and said that he thinks they will both need it, but high up in the air. Each way for me. Loves soft ground. I just wondered why Jamie chose.
It was
a
ridiculously
2-2.
well handicapped
Yeah.
last year, wasn't he? And Gary fully exploited it.
Yeah, and I
now
just
he's-
thought, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's been given a slight chance by the handicap on his return. Seasonal debutants in this race.
By one of my favourite horses. That horse is. He's by famous name. Dermot Wells' old horse. That was an
by
absolute
famous
mainstay in
name?
That's his
Leopardstown.
name, yeah.
Yeah, he's by famous name.
Wow, a famous name, of course, for the late Khalid Abdullah. He was some horse, wasn't he, on the flat? Absolutely. All right, so this is a real treat, basically. This is wide open. It's a proper 5-1 the field race. Is anything coming in? Are they queuing up for anything as they get ready to jump off, Barry?
No, not really. Zanza, Cool Cody's your favourite 7-2. Zanza 7-6, 7-8 Aldenham. So he's been at the head of the market. Galahad Quest 8-12. Bonambo Sabola is 9.6. Who's commentating on this? You've got some lovely names to get cracking with.
That's me
There
out
can
there.
be only one.
That's me out.
Yeah, but I think we tried Batchy once, didn't we? I think I jumped on after the first fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think we'll all have a little pop at this. Should we take segments like they do in the National?
No.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you at the water and all that sort of thing. All right, listen, good luck wherever you're playing. I know this is one of the real treats, isn't it, of New Year's Day, getting your teeth stuck into this. So much more to come still at Musselburgh. We're popping to Tramore in about 20 minutes' time to see the dual Gold Cup winner album photo. So much was said about turning up elsewhere, wasn't it? He has been slow to come to hand. Tramore's Day in the Sun again, great to see it. We'll be popping there for the team race, as we're calling it. We'll be keeping an eye on Fairy House at 2:40 as well, because you've got the likes of Ellie May up against Put the Kettle On as well, haven't you? And who was the horse? Mount Ida, of course, another festival. It's a real treat there. It's all kicking off. January looks like it could be absolutely brilliant. We've got the Dublin Festival. We'll be covering all of this for you here on Racing Post Live this year. Let's hope your dreams come true today as well in this race. Who haven't we mentioned? Magic Saint. Haven't mentioned him, have we? Likes the track, but Tom Buckley on first-time cheap pieces probably needs that claim. Janica as well. What's happened to him for Team Henderson?
Rico.
Yes.
He's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Raised a lot of eyebrows, the ride that he got last day. A lot of eyebrows.
Brian Hughes.
Brian Hughes, and Doncaster behind 2 for Gold.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so and again, they're sticking pieces on, and Johnny Burt will be a bit more positive. All right then, good luck. Amble Barrattry, haven't mentioned him. Last time out winner for Lucy Wadham as well. Aidan Coleman takes the right. Espada Tele, got some pretty good form in the book. Massive price. for Danny Mullins and Tom George. Danny Mullins, he's hot at the moment, isn't he? All right, off we go then. And who's going to take it up? Cool Cody then. What a surprise. Immediately being joined by Simply the Bets. Back down in trip, once again taking that keen grip. Interesting to see Alnadan wants a piece of the action as well. Really good jump by Riders on Storm on the outside. Where's Zanza? Oh, they're riding him a bit more prominently today.
I know, he makes a change. He's usually out the back. He actually jumped the first okay. They all did. They all flew the first. Will they make a mistake at the second?
Espartele good. Janica not so great. Actually, in fact, Zanza wasn't brilliant there, Tom.
The thing is, he actually jumped the first two really well. He was just slow away from them both, and now he's being niggled along in classic Zanza fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in between the fences, he's mustard, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Fernando de Silva, Sivola, sorry, he's going really, really well. Strong travelling horse, this. Remember, again, a bit like high up in the air, he's slightly further back at the moment, along with, let's have a look, one of the outsiders, Atois Phil, there's a name, another one for Gary Moore, making his comeback now as a 12-year-old. They're really well strung out. Galahad Quest nicely in the midfield as well. Puerto Rico, a little bit more prominent for him today.
Take a bit keen, Puerto Rico.
Right out the back. Batch,
Bit
early
keen,
impressions.
bit keen is Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, again, it wasn't massive eye catcher last time, and a lot of people saying, why wasn't he harder on him up at, was it Newcastle or Donny, wasn't it, I think, where he run. And again, you try and change the tactics with some horses, it just don't work, does it?
No, that's it. You have to try different things with these, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Cool Cody definitely having to work a little bit harder for the lead now, though, TC.
Yeah, Simply the Bets is making him go a little bit harder early on. I like the position that Alnadan's in. If you're on the favourite, you're in fourth and on the outside, getting a clear look at the fences. Galahad Quest is just tracking him through as well, which is a big tick for mine and Barry's selection.
All right, okay. Now I'm starting to get a little bit, if you were on Cool Cody out there, I'd now be slightly happier, I think, because Adam Wedge last time, he sort of stopped it again and just 3 out, as long as he met it on the right. Then he went, and he had too much horse left for them up the hill. So, I don't know. I'm surprised that something's not trying to... Maybe they think they're spoiling themselves. Galahad Quest definitely showing a lot more today. Really well jumped that one. Zanza, again, low, isn't it? You just don't know what to get. Vienna Court, the horse that made the top of my shortlist, right out the back. Dejan de Carjac being ridden very cold as well. Atois fell out the back. Looks a little bit like, again, Zanza. We're sort of laughing a little bit, aren't we? But, I don't know, it must be so frustrating out there. He's going to have to absolutely sprout wings over those final 4 fences. And Fernando Sivola looks like he's lost his position a little bit as well. Barry, what's the market saying as they go out on the far side?
Likes the one in front, Cool Cody, 4.5 now, so 7-2. Fernando Sivola, 8.6. 10, Galahad Quest. Aladdin is 12.5. Zanza out to 18.
All right, okay, we're back in. Zanza got a mention there. That's the main thing, isn't it? And now, this is what I mean. This is what I was expecting for Cool Cody. They are starting to come at him. At this point, when he won the Racing Post Gold Cup, he was still a little bit free up front. Simply the Bet's definitely not letting him get away. Who catches your eye now, TC, if you could have a bet?
Well, I'm looking at him because I've backed him, but it's Galahad Quest. He's in 5th. He's just behind the 4 dueling leaders. He's in the perfect position, actually.
Flown that one as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's travelling so well under David Noonan right now. I'm really happy with him. Riders on the Storm also travelling powerfully on the front end.
Harry Skelton starting to do what Harry does. He's gone to the
just
outside and he wants a bit, doesn't he?
Plenty of room. He's travelling well as well. Cody's just come off.
Vienna Court catching
Zanza
my
just
eye.
fell. I think Zanza just fell.
Did Zanza go? Oh, we've missed Zanza.
He's
Looks like
1,000,
Zanza might have gone.
1,000,
All right, let's hope he's all right. Okay, here we go then. I think this is, I'm going to say it's 4 out again. Riders on the Storm, absolutely wing that. Now Cool Cody's in trouble.
Vienna Court moving through the field into
There's
6th.
a reminder there for Galahad Quest. Come on, get on with it. Fernando coming forward then. Where's Mattie? And where's Vienna Court? Vienna Court's
Just coming to
cruising.
4 out now, Dave.
There we are. There we're on the 4 out. That's what I wanted to see. I was looking for Vienna Court there. She is going really, really well.
Saint Trevor's
Yes, he is,
Yeah,
Barry. That's
really
interesting.
well.
This is a massive ride for your man, this, isn't it?
Tom Buckley,
Absolutely, Tom Buckley. All right, then. All to play for as it comes to the tricky third last. Batch, if you earn one?
I'm still happy with Harry at the minute.
Really?
Yeah.
On the outside.
Well, Galahad's funny, isn't he, Tom? Like, he's kind of gets at him and then he comes back on the bridle.
Yeah. He's running snatches, definitely.
He's running in snatches, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Cool Cody's not totally dominant. He's coming back into
Coming
it, the
back.
veteran.
Vienna
That's
Court
great to see.
travelling
You
well.
love to see it. Right, here we are, 3 out then. Riders on the Storm going to come up just in front. Tanking away he is at the moment as well. Simply the Bets on his best behaviour today. Aldenham. Look at Vienna Court as she swings on the outside. Come on, Sam Tristan Davis. He must be, what's he feeling at the moment as he goes into home straight?
Confident.
Massively confident. He's like,
6
how
to 4
far?
on now, Vienna.
Come on, Vienna Court. Come on, my girl. Can she see Alnadam off? That's the question. Simply the Bets goes for it. Magic Saint not done with either. Look at Fernamble Sivela being smuggled into it, but on the bridle at the moment is Vienna Court. Will she hold it up to finish? Her and Simply the Bets go clear. All on the jump.
Nice.
Yeah, pinged it away nicely. What's she got her? That's the question. Come on, Sam. I want to see this. Take it up, my old son. Well, has she gone very, very low? That's the question.
Yeah.
6 is on.
6 is on at the last. She pings it. Come on, get up the hill, my girl. This is where we're not sure. Still worried about the one on the inside. Simply the Bets. They're going for absolutely everything. Aye, aye. We love these Cheltenham handicaps. And she produces the mare for Nigel Twiston-Davies. A 4th win in the last 11 years for the camp. Simply the Bets run a stormer. The 2 come well clear. Happy days, TC.
Yeah, I mean, another great ride. Interesting tactics on Vienna Court. Good selection as well, Dave, I should say. Out the back today. Last time was winning a lot more aggressive, but she jumped beautifully again.
Didn't see it. Didn't see that coming at all. I said to her before, and I thought she'd be more straightforward. She was cruising in from 4 out, Barry. She went low, didn't she, from 2 out, but I wasn't convinced.
No, either was I. She was 6 on jumping the last, 1.16. I didn't say it myself now. I thought Simply the Best, that was dismissing his chances a little, but he's traded at a low of 2 to 1 in running for 87 quid, Simply the Best. But your winner, Vienna Court, Betfair SP at 13.4. And another fine ride around Cheltenham for Sam Twiston-Davies. I don't think anyone rides the 2 tracks there better than him. He really, really is a good jockey around there.
I'm going to jump on that endorsement. Absolutely love these Cheltenham handicaps, aren't they? Great.
They're all good when they win, don't they, Tom?
Novice takes it out. Right, we've got to go up to Musselburgh, guys. We've got to go up to Musselburgh for the Hogmanay handicap, ironically named Hogmanay handicap up there. And one of the big races of the day. Some well-known characters in here. One of my naps of the weekend goes in this, Barry. Christopher Wood.
Yeah, I like him as well, Dave. Nichols says that the handicapper's been kind to him as well. It's a race that he's targeted this horse with. He's delighted that he got dropped a couple of pounds for his last run. Angus Chalita again claiming 5 off 142. Tommy's Oscar, I think the form was let down just there in our previous race, wasn't it? By the Geronimo, what was the name of the horse? Geronimo,
that's him.
Yeah, he's near last and first in the previous race, so that form's taken a bit of a knock. What the play was here, I was going to take 50 quid out of Tommy's Oscar. I like Anna Bonina as well, could run well if the ground's not too bad. I thought Blakeney Point that won the race on this card last year off 124 had a chance as well. So I'm happy to take the favourite on at around the 5 to 2 mark at the moment. Currently trading at 2.66, which is unbelievable. I'm really happy to take it on now. So we'll 274. We'll take 50 quid of the backer stake out of it at that price. It's been well supported. It was 3 to 1 just a short while ago. So he's been really well punted. But yeah, I'm backing Christopher Woods myself personally, but laying the favourite here on the exchange.
There you go. The first big lay then of 2022 struck on Tommy's Oscar. Likeable Tommy's Oscar, but Barry's right. I mean, echo everything he says there. The form was let down by Geronimo, and they're claiming 7 for good reason, I think. As mentioned, Christopher Wood, the one for me, was totally ignored in the market. He has been given a chance. If this isn't his FA Cup final, as we like to say, this is his big target, I think, this one.
This is his track as well. He seems to like it.
2 from 2.
Yeah, 2 from 2.
And Angus, second in the last race, he'll be looking forward to this, I think.
Yeah, I like First Impression as well. I thought he won well at Wetherby and was unlucky unseated last time out.
They backed him that day as well, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they did, yeah. I thought for the price that he is as well, and the bottom horse, what Barry said as well, Blakeney Point won the race last year. You can get horses that come back to the tracks and do the same again the following year. But yeah, Christopher Wood as well, he does stand out a little bit.
There's potentially a bit of pace on here, TC, if they all run to their adopted style. Tom Segal likes Mick Maestro under the talented Kevin Brogan. Who do you like?
I can see Mick Maestro. I can definitely see Christopher Wood, who, as you mentioned, goes really well at Musselburgh. My selection's First Impression. I think he's the value now around 6 to 1 as well. He was shorter yesterday. I don't mind a drifter. I know plenty of punters hate drifters, but I personally don't mind them.
It's been market forces for the rest of them, I think. Like I said, Christopher Wood was the wrong price.
Yeah, and 2 starts back for First Impression. He was really impressive at Wetherby. He hacked up by 5 lengths, beating Caius Marcius. Last time out, yes, he unseated it at the 3rd at Musselburgh, and he kind of stepped at it. I'd like to see him jump a little bit better early on, but if he does, I think he's going to be a big player for John Quinn.
All right then, okay. Yeah, again, I am surprised. I thought he would be nearly fav as well in this. So we've got a 2-way split for the first time here in 2022. Two for first impression, Mattie Batch and Tom Collins, and myself and Barry. We're happy to row in with Christopher Wood. Barry also laying Tommy's Oscar. The Hamiltons and these owners, they don't have a lot of horses, do they? But they do find the right races, don't they?
They do well what they get, don't they?
Great strike rates.
They've got a phenomenal strike rate, and they kind of still go under the radar, and Ian Hamilton, but they need to be respected more, I think, because these horses just seem to put on win streaks. All of them do. Pay the Piper being one, Tommy's Oscar is
I was
obviously
told a story
on a
about the Hamiltons. Apparently they've had loads of offers for their horses over the years, but they know now not to offer anymore. Apparently. They don't really need the money, so JP and the likes have gone away from their door, and they are off and running then. And it is, at the moment, it's the mare, isn't it? Interestingly, one of two for Donald McCain. 5 and 20. First time wind operation. Likes the track. In fact, did she win the novice, a juvenile race at this track when we were covering it? I think she did last year. So this is her place for Midland Park Racing, and off she goes. Over the first, what happened there? And first impression was a little bit skew. If unseated last time, will travel strongly is your comment at the moment for Tommy's Oscar, the big white face. It will be the end of the race. You have to start worrying about his chances under that big weight. Christopher Wood, enthusiastic hold for him as well. Anna Bonina, just looking on from rear. First run, but John McConnell, this is the race he wanted to go in. Mick Maestro always goes wide, this horse, and Blakeney Point is the other one. There's a reason as well. Nick Kent said about it. He doesn't like being crowded, this horse, Mick Maestro. He's always on the outside. When he won at Catterick last year, he went on, he went via Buckinghamshire and still won.
You get horses like that though, Dave. They just Carruthers was a bit like that. He didn't like
Had
being
to be out.
crowded.
Yeah, okay. We'll spit the dummy out a little bit. Oh, all right, okay. How fast are they going? Batch again. Again, sort of average sort of pace, isn't it? They're on the all-weather
strip.
Again, we're split screens here, so we're watching from afar. Barry, what is the market like then? They've adopted their positions.
Likes Christopher Wood, gone favourite, 2-1. Tommy's Oscar, 3.35. 9-6 first impressions now, a couple of dodgy jumps. 9-6, the one in front, 5 and 20. Mick Ricegrove, 10.5. But yeah, your favourite Christopher Wood now.
All right, okay, you heard it. Christopher Wood is the one they like. It was big prize. First impression going well, though, guys.
Yeah, he made a mistake at the third. Again, the same one he made. He unseated last time out. Jumped a bit better this time, but he's still a bit skew in the air. I mean, he's probably going worse of the field at this stage. Christopher Wood travelling powerfully in behind.
All right, okay, good luck then. We're revving up then. We're not far away from popping over the Irish Sea to Tramore and see how Album Photo goes in his traditional prep for the Gold Cup. And of course, plenty more to come from Cheltenham as well. About an hour left here. Delighted to have you with us on RP Live. Okay, Blakeney Point. The two Mccann runners eyeballing each other. Slightly surprised by that?
No, they're both there to win the race, Dave, so they've got to. Christopher Wood's travelling really well.
No, absolutely not.
You've got to ride your own race, Dave.
I don't know. If you're on Tommy's Oscar now, you're starting to get excited, aren't you?
Yeah, he's travelling well.
I know the £7 claim's obviously going to help him, isn't it? So, we'll see. All right, he's got to
Christopher Wood's just come off the
Just
bridle.
getting the hurry up there.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. I think that was a case of losing his... Oh, dear. Yeah, he had a little stumble there, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was losing your position more than anything. Angus Cheltenham did that on Cavan Cross on the inside, held him up. It's almost a carbon copy ride at the moment. So, balls of steel from the young farmer from Ditchy at the moment. Okay, Anna Bonina leading it. Mick Maestro gone by the looks of it. Look at Tommy's Oscar. Look, he must have gone low now, has he? Yes, he has. Right into it he goes.
10-9 on.
All right, we're coming to the third last then. Still a bit of run. Oh, this is actually 2 out, isn't it? Oh, he waved at this one a little bit. Was that
First impression?
Go
Got a
on,
chance
Henry.
at the inside.
Yes,
Go
he
on,
has,
Henry.
absolutely. Christopher Wood is coming back, but losing his
Tommy's
position,
Oscar.
that's probably hurt him a little bit. I want to say this is 2 out.
It is to her.
All over, 5's on.
Oh, Tommy's Oscar, look, we took him on, didn't we? But what a horse this is. The rest of them just haven't really run their game. And even if they had done, he's absolutely shown his class, TC.
Yeah, he's travelled through the race brilliantly. He's jumped perfectly throughout, coming to the last hurdle now, and he's absolutely pinged it. Just a brilliant ride. He's a class horse in the race on ratings, and he's just proven that here.
Christopher Wood is doing his best to give him a bit of a wobble, but losing his position on the bend there, I think that's absolutely cost him. He's not a horse that's got an instant turn of foot. He runs on well for second.
Yeah, he wouldn't have won the race anyway. I have to say the winner's won with loads in hand.
What a classy animal Tommy's Oscar is. We took him on, Barry, but class has come to the fore. The cream has risen.
Yeah, it certainly has. He was 5's on jumping the second last one, first impression, but he's travelled well. Once Christopher Wood hit that bit of a flat spot, then he seemed to pitch just as if he put his foot in a hole, or he just stumbled a bit when he was trying to regain his position, which didn't help Christopher Wood's chances. But Tommy's Oscar went short from turning in that time, and he's duly obliged for favourite backers. He's Betfair SP at 3.17. Christopher Wood's SP was 3.83. So we laid him at the right price, 274, but fortunately he's hacked up for favourite backers.
There he is. Okay, and favourite backers are probably going to be looking for the quick double here, aren't they? Because we must go to Tramore then. There it is. Again, from a betting perspective, obviously this is a tricky race. Your two non-runners, the one that wasn't from the Willie Mullins Yard Hardline, he comes out along with Anamix as well. We've got the Hennessy third, the Ladbrokes Trophy third, Brahma Bull. I thought he was the bet without, Barry.
So did I, Dave. Yeah, I thought if they make plenty of use of him, but that's what it's key for this horse. I think he has to be up with it and maybe even forcing the pace. I know Acapella Bourgeois is going to want to do the same. So tactics is going to be fascinating here. You'd love to be a fly in the wall when they're getting their instructions, but if they do make plenty of use of Brahma Bull, I think he could run a very big race here and at very least finish second to the favourite Album Photo, if not put it up to the favourite. So he's 274, please. Tom, in the without market, so you can win the race, or if the favourite wins and we come second to him, we still get paid. We'll have 50 quid on at 274. We'll be a price taker here because it's quite in the liquid market, and we'll just leave it up there and hopefully someone will come in and match it first.
All match for you, Barry.
Thank you very much,
brilliant.
guys. All right, so there's always a trade in these races. Of course, you don't have to play with safe gambling all the way through 2022, please, out there. But for charity reasons, Barry is showcasing how you can get involved if you want a bit of interest. And of course, he's won this. He's going for the four-timer, isn't he? Funnily enough, when he won this last year, he did hit a bit of a spike. We were talking with Barry just before we came on out. I remember he rode, but class came to the fore again. They trimmed him a little bit after that for the Gold Cup. What did you make of the Savills Chase? That's the first thing I'm going to ask you here. Where Galvin got the better of Aplutard over Christmas at Leopardstown.
Yeah, Galvin, he impressed me. I think he's thrown his hat right in the mix for the Gold Cup. Big time, yeah. Because I think, for me, a blue tar just. I know you're probably going to go for the Gold Cup again, but I just think that is just a little bit a trip too far. Because it just looked like to me they just got outstayed up the hill. He just looked like he struggled a little bit up the hill for me, and I just.
Well, he was outstayed by Manella Indo last season, and he's got done on the line. Not some people saying that every Dubrom's horses aren't totally firing. I mean, these haven't winners. Journey with Me was quite impressive. Oh, here we go. I had to get up now, didn't we? This is your horse to follow for the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I genuinely didn't think he was going to win. I mean, I put him up in my column just because.
I backed him actually. I didn't fancy Kilcroot. Just didn't.
All the money came for Kilcroot again. They burnt their money, didn't they? Second time this year. But Journey with Me, yeah, I've backed him for the Albert Bartlett and the Ballymore. Backed him last March, actually, but I don't know what race we'll go for yet.
What did you make of Galvin and Aplutard?
I thought Aplutard was going to go clear, just didn't. Ran £7 below the Betfair Chase victory.
They went quite steadily in that race, and Galvin still won, said Paul Keeley yesterday when I was chatting to him. And look, you have to see the hill just suiting Galvin, don't you? 6-1, rock solid, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not sure, TC? You don't think he's got the... Do you think it's like the class thing? Because obviously Aplutard looked like he had the race cold at 2 out.
Yeah, I think if Aplutard performs like Aplutard rather than what we saw in the Savills Chase, then he'll reverse the form.
I'm not totally sure. I backed Aplutard on the back. I think I was waiting on him for a treble and just thought, I just think he wins, you know. And jumping the last, I was very happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tactics, I think, are key with him. The only way he can win a Gold Cup, if it's a proper Gold Cup test, is if he literally pounces late. Yeah. I think that's the only way he can win it.
Yeah,
as brilliant as he is.
You're probably correct. Last year, I thought he was going to come and win the race 2 out and just could never get to him.
He didn't jump that well in last year's Gold Cup. So this time he was a lot better. And Rachel was alive to the fact it was a sort of slackened pace, I think. But I don't know, I was impressed with Galvin. That was a big step up for him. It was the acid test.
It was definitely a career best from him. I'm just not 100% all in on him for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, but I don't know.
I thought it was great for Davey as well.
Yeah.
He's like...
class
is permanent, and he's one of the best, Davey.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Barry, what did you make of it before we go back to the Tramore showpiece?
I thought Galvin was galvanised. He's an out-and-out stayer, and I think that's what you need to win the Gold Cup these days. You're going to get a true test of a stayer's ability in the Gold Cup. It's a truly run race every year, bar none. And I think that he could just outstay them. But I wouldn't write off Menendo just yet. You put a line through the run into King George, he'll get a sweetener up somewhere and he'll be all systems go come March.
That looked too sharp for him, Kempton.
Well, it's
way too sharp.
Well, she as good as admitted that taking on Froden was a bullet to the head. You know, it was just a crazy thing to do. And
they did go too
she said that herself, Rachel, you know. So she kind of put her hand up there that she was wrong in the way she approached that race. And lesson learned, I would imagine.
Barry, a question. A Plutard, do you think he gets up the hill in the Gold Cup over that extended trip?
He did last year. Like,
Yeah.
he's staying on better than anything really at the finish. So I don't think the trip's against him, but I think there's more Dara stayers in the race.
Millen
And
is a
Galvin
Dara
being one of
stay,
them,
yeah.
and Manila
Better
Indo,
stay,
yeah.
Yeah, hard to disagree with all that. Hugh Masson joins us back on the show. He's been popping up in the chat box that I've seen. Most of you have probably seen that, but Hugh comes on and says, last year's RP Live on New Year's Day was hilarious, trying to work out a Tramore handicap hurdle. It really was, Barry, wasn't it? And as you thought might happen, Acapella Bourgeois goes out in front. Albin Photo, great to see him back on the track, of course. Was it soft enough for him in the Gold Cup last year? Is he totally done with? I don't know. Could he be Corto star and regain the Gold Cup? He's now 10, of course, on his birthday. Brahma Bull sitting right out the back at the moment. Burrows' Saint was a bit underwhelming to my eye last time. He was absolutely smashed, wasn't he, on his return? All about the National. They're going back for him, of course, back over the entry fences. Patrick Mullins rode him in the National. I thought I was going to win, and I totally emptied out. So I wonder if they train him slightly differently this year. They are going an honest enough gallop TC.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a paid work, really. But Albin Photo in the perfect position in second. Willie Mullins would have had this all planned out, the order of where these horses are placed early on. I kind of want Albin Photo to really throw his hat into the ring today. You know, win this race decisively rather than just crawling home like he did last season. Brahma Bull's jumping a bit sticky early. Acapella Bourgeois being ridden into the fences and slowing up and hesitant. So it might just be Burrows Saint if the other two don't perk up their ideas. But
What did you make of the King George batch? Tornado Fly coming over the top. Was it a case of just, tactics won the day?
Yeah, he's almost rode the race to sort of nick a place, nick a bit of prize money maybe, and the pace has helped him. And I think it's fallen into his lap, and he's done it well. Yeah.
Still not over the King George, Dave. I backed Tornado Fly to win the Savills Chase this year, and Willie Mullins decided to reroute him to Kempton. Didn't back him at all.
Oh, no.
And he goes and hacks up at 22.
So you saw the tactical scenario, which is...
He was a real eye catcher on his last start, and yes, he's been...
In the John Durkin, of course, yeah.
Hadn't won for 2 years, but he's been placed in top quality races.
I just wonder if he's the sort that could just do it again in the Gold Cup. You know, if they go too hard up front, and he'll just...
He's very
at
talented.
the finish,
He is very talented. He just goes under the radar because he's...
Grade 1 winning bumper horse, wasn't he? But he'd been beaten in handicaps and all that sort of
and
stuff.
he's never the first string for Willie Mullins, so he's always going to be a decent price.
As you say, the race might have fell into his lap, but he's still got an engine.
Oh yeah,
he's still
really kicked clear, didn't he?
Of course, during a race like this, of course, we're going to be all eyes on the Gold Cup. We'll get the market up after this. Barry, through the race itself, it's just this is like watching train work. It's homework, isn't it, basically, at the moment?
That's all it is, really, Dave. They've started out in those positions and they haven't changed. Acapella Bourgeois leading Album Photo, who's leading Burrows Saint with Brahma Bull anchored last, and Burrows Saint seems to have taken a bit of a keen hold. They're only crawling as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, 1.23 Album Photo, and it's 10 Burrows Saint in the exchange win market, but I don't know what you can say about it, really.
Well, apart from he's, absolutely full of himself, isn't he? And the ground looks a bit better than it did this time last year. It was real pudding, wasn't it, last year? It's a case of when he sends him on and Paul Townend says, yeah, that's it, second circuit, come on we go. Uphill and down Dale at Tramore, isn't it? When you get to the second last...
Those sixes on.
Yeah, Acapella Bourgeois was really hesitant over his fences. That's game over for him.
Brahma Bull, strange old ride and tactics at the moment. They don't even want him to go past Acapella Bourgeois at the minute.
No, not a yard.
You'd want to be getting past him the way he's jumping, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a handicap in mind for Brahma Bull at this point. It looks like Burrows Saint is going to finish second.
He's travelling
worst.
really well, to be fair to Burrows Saint right now. If this was a more competitive race, you'd be thinking he's got a great chance of winning this. And
they're listening to us on Brahma Bull because Jody McGarvey goes, oh yeah, I better get on with it. And he finally does take third place.
Acapella pulled up.
It does look like Acapella Bourgeois is pulling up, sadly, on his return. Jack Foley, the 12-year-old.
Could be a race here for second place if they have any interest in it.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice. But yeah, again, listen, a dual Gold Cup winner, and I backed him on the second one of them. He's brave as they come, isn't he?
He's a brilliant horse, and the Gold Cup isn't the same without him. However, in a race like this, you just don't learn anything. We just know that he's still able to jump and run,
they go round again, don't they?
They do go round again.
Unfortunately, Barry, yes.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, fast forward this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're on pause. Absolutely. So listen, look, we digress slightly. I suppose it does bring it to the point that poor Nicky Henderson gets bashed left, right and centre, doesn't he, for winning these sort of races before they go to Cheltenham. I mean, Albin Photo's only turned up once before the festival. He had a little think about that one, didn't he? Perhaps Jody McGarvey knows exactly what he's doing on Brahma Bull. So now we go out. It's good to see a crowd, isn't it, in Ireland at Tramore, of course. back, for their big day in the sun. And I guess, Barry, let's come to you on this. Loads of people have just gone out today, never mind the racing, never mind the weather, just want to see a Dual Gold Cup winner.
Yeah. Well, it's been the same for the last number of years, Dave, hasn't it? That's been the case with Tramore, and Tramore New Year's Day is synonymous now with album photo. So we get to see a Dual Gold Cup winner, and it's great to see. But if you take Willie Mullins out of the equation, it's liable to be one of those matches that you get so often in England.
Yeah, I think so, very much. Lots to say. What did we make of Shishkin over Christmas as well? I've got a feeling that he will duck the Clarence House and go to the Game Spirit, and I think Enes Jamin will come over and win the Clarence House. I think I can just see it.
I'd be surprised if they took each other on.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Though, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd love to see it. It'd be brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then again at Cheltenham, like we used to get with World Chief and Azertiup and Moscow, of course. The three great 2-mile champion chases. For me, the champion chase, let's just hope he gets there, Enes Jamin, as well. That's the other thing. But that is the race of the festival.
It's a bit of a joke, this, isn't it? None of them are trying to apply any pressure to the one.
Terrestrial coverage as well.
It's like a schooling race, Barry.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Isn't it?
And my point being,
it's just a bit of schooling work.
Hendo would be getting pelters
it's bad
now,
for
wouldn't it?
racing.
It's not great, yeah.
It doesn't look great. But why don't other horses just turn up here? I just don't get it. There's plenty of prize money in there. It's 90 grand to the winner, so second and third.
I'm quite surprised you don't see any English horses go over there.
And now it's a sprint for home. That's what I mean. It's a sprint for home as well. And I tell you what, are we going to actually get? Is this the last?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last. Yeah.
Well, his best jumpers for last, unlike Brahma Bull, who is going to be bronze medal for Team Mullins. Burrows Saint, better run from him. Although it was a bit of a Mickey Mouse race, he's
I
back.
thought he ran nicely. He was never going to win the race. He wasn't really trying to win the race, but he travelled really powerfully.
He looks like a national horse, doesn't he? Very well built, stocky, rangy
he
horse.
fills the eye, doesn't he? And he's only 9. He's probably just reaching his limit now.
It was a very, very anti-climax that, Dave. Moving on.
Yeah, we didn't even get the without right. No, so we took a chance on that one, didn't we? Barry, so again, a married man's gallop. Teamwork didn't look great for racing that, but he's back. He's in one piece. His best jump was at the last.
Yeah, unchanged at 14 for the Gold Cup, which you would imagine.
His 14's a bit big.
For a 2-time winner, I think it's very big,
other horses have come to the fore, haven't they, since he won his last Gold Cup? I mean, you have Manila Endo, you have Applatar to finish in front of him last year, you have Galvin.
He's a horse that's never really captured the punter's imagination because we just don't see him.
Because
don't see him, yeah.
He does the best mate, even worse than best mate, isn't it?
Exactly. Horses that obviously punters love and become crowd favourites are going to be short in the market.
But because he'd been beaten in the Gold Cup last season, they wanted to campaign him more aggressively, we were told. And he was very slow to come to hand, wasn't he? So could we see him go to Dublin Racing Festival or something? No, I mean, he's a 10-year-old, isn't he? But 14-1, I think, sounds bigger. If you said 8-1 to me, I'd be thinking, he's kind of where he ought to be in the market. I don't know. If it rained heavily at Cheltenham, which it didn't, of course, do in the Gold Cup last year, he definitely can have a say still, the 2-time winner in the finish. 14-1, a tad big.
Dave, if you were Brave Man's Games owner, and you, Tom, would the Gold Cup cross your mind?
Do a Coney Gree.
The way he jumps.
Well, they don't. Yes. If it was any other track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. People
Then what Barry said, the owners are very keen to go to Cheltenham. They love Cheltenham.
Can you remember seeing a better novice chase jumper?
What, than Brave Man's Games?
I can't.
No.
I genuinely can't. Let me know out there.
I'd go back to Coney Gree.
Maybe Coney Gree.
I'd go back to Coney Gree.
I think they have. I can't think of any names, so this is kind of a relevant point. But I think they have been better. Purely, obviously he's a brilliant jumper, but he lands very heavy on his front legs. I think at Cheltenham it may catch him out on a downhill fence, maybe, but that's obviously unproven. That's just my own,
Has any horse been given
imagination.
any more airtime on this show than Brave Man's Game? I don't know, or in the studio, I'm not really sure. Well, we've got to move on. Okay, well, that was a little treat for us, wasn't it? We just saw a bit of class there and, nostalgia and all that, and great for Tramore. They'll go and welcome him back now, no doubt. But we must go on because the 235 is a ripper. It's over 3 miles. It's over hurdles. Barry Orr.
Yeah, at the moment they're betting 6.4 pylon. Tamara Bridge, an improving youngster of Ollie Murphy, who I know you had on a different show. Be interesting to hear what he has to say about that 7.6. 6.4 art approval, though. Just shading favouritism at the moment. 8.2 Botox has. My Bobby Dazzler 10. Astil in 16.5. Spirit of the Game's an interesting one at 13. I like Dolphin Square in it. It's out to 42.
Wow.
I'm just going to, 42 Dolphin Square. Last day in Newbury, Mr. David Maxwell. We all know what you get with Mr. David Maxwell. But what I do like about this horse is that the encouragement that he gave him in Newbury got him home. Now, he's only won a neck, and he gave the winner or the runner-up a little bit of a bump just before the line. But I think he's still an improving young horse, and I think he could be ahead of his handicap mark. And I'm really fancy him strongly to finish in the first four. So I'm just going to back him place only, please, Tom, in the 4 place market. Currently trading at 6.2. We're going to snaffle that and have 50 quid on him at that price. So once the ground's not too soft, this horse will travel sweetly. And if he can get the office, I think he could sneak into the top 4.
All right, thank you, Barry. All right, yeah. Okay, David Maxwell got beaten on Cat Tiger, didn't he?
Oh, do you know what? It's just one of those. He gave it an absolute peach.
Yeah.
He took it up. The horse got a little bit lonely in front, and then the second horse sort of came to him, and he ran for him again. If he could have just held on to just hold the run off a little bit, he would have caught him.
Kaluki, of course, being the other Hobbs horse.
And he's got back in front, and he's come back at him. Yeah, he's great for racing, David Maxwell.
He is.
He puts a lot in, and
We
fair
don't often
play.
say the word Corinthian amateur these days, but he genuinely is, isn't he? You know?
Yeah.
We have Charlie Post, of course, in the studio a lot. He's in on box day. It's a busy time for him, pointers, and he says all the solicitors are coming back out to ride his pointers and all that sort of. All the owner riders are coming back out to play a little bit after COVID. You know, it's good. I think it's good fun in the points at the moment. Tamar Bridge, you mentioned, Barry. I spoke to Murphs about this yesterday. They like him, think they'll like the trip. Shows nothing at home. Still thinks he's well handicapped. He has, after a very good start to December, Ollie, he has tapered off a little bit. It was a quiet Christmas period for him. I think he's won from his life. I mean, the Wolf ran well, didn't it, earlier
Wolf
on?
ran well, yeah.
He thought Lord Ken, Dr. Ken would run well in the first. That was beaten 23 lengths. And he is about to inoculate all his horses. We'll see. It's been weak in the betting. I thought he's sure to go off favourite here, despite the fact that Pylon's on the race. Before I give my tip and batch, TC, let's have yours.
You could make a case for virtually every horse in there. I mean, I've spoken to 4 colleagues aside from you two, Mattie Player, everyone knows, and Keith as well, and they fancy What's Up With You and Spirit of the Games respectively. I like Ask Dylan in here for Fergal O'Brien. I'm just tending to back most Fergal O'Brien's horses at the moment, and he's a decent price at around 12s. Ran in the Potemps final along with Spirit of the Games, finished 1 place ahead of Spirit of the Games. That came off a mark of 144 and finished 6th, obviously in the Potemps final, where the boss's Oscar was second to Mrs. Milner in a race dominated by the Irish. Now rated just 141, well handicapped, and ran on last time at this track as well. So I think he can run into a place at 12s. Also gets Liam Harrison, brilliant £3 conditional.
Good to see him back up and running. Had a bit of a weird spell in the wilderness, didn't he?
Yeah, he's virtually a pro rider though, isn't he? He's got the ability of a pro rider.
He's going for the championship conditionals. If you read the front runner email, Chris Cook, he made a point. I think he sent an email out around the editorial department saying, anyone know what's happened to Liam Harrison? He just was on fire and then he went a bit cold, so I'm not sure, but he's back up and running. Him and Kevin Brogan going head-to-head at the moment for that. He is interesting. You mentioned What's Up With You. That's my selection in this. I think Tamar Bridge will go well. Can see Botox has. I've seen a few cliffs. People saying in the chats about him. I like Ask Dylan, just also I've always liked. Spirit of the Games, Cliff Horse for me, I'm off. Kansas City Chief and Victoria Malzard, your New Jersey rival.
Yes.
She's been doing really well on this horse as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, and he seems to love it around here. I mean, he's 13 years young now. She gets on really well with him, and I mean...
He's always overlooked in the betting this horse.
He's always overlooked. I mean, he beat Botox Has last time, and he's shorter in the betting. I mean, he is my selection because I think he's got his ground. So
Botox?
Botox. He loves soft ground. But Kansas City Chief, you can't knock him.
Do you see him injecting a bit of pace in the race?
That's what she does. She jumps off handy. He's a bit keen. She sends him on. He rolls on, and he don't stop. It's great. Yeah, I mean, she comes over here. She's never had a winner, and her first 2 winners are at Cheltenham.
He didn't get that, Barry, did he, at all? Botox has injecting pace into the race. Is he firming up in the betting, Barry?
See, when he's thinking about that island, is she Jersey, is she?
Victoria Malzard is. He didn't like that name. He's like, hang on, I'm the big boss over here. You're going to have to go to Delhi next or something like that.
And Mum sacked me. Now I used to ride all her horses.
Is that right?
With the tin tack.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, great stuff. So, okay, What's Up With You? The case for this one. Ben Pauling coming back into resurgent form. Keenan Woods takes a ride. Go back a couple of races. He was obviously 4th to Galopin de Champs, beaten 11 lengths. That's not the run that really catches my eye, though. He ran here, and we covered it on the race. I think it might have been the November meeting last season. He went far too hard. Luca Morgan rode it. He just got glory in his head and went for it. The horse should have won. He's been chasing 130 though, back over hurdles. this is it. It's just all about tactics. You need a bit of luck on your side, but around about the 20-1 mark, 16-1, you can take a chance, I think. I've been looking forward to him all day. This is an absolute belter.
Fergal O'Brien's art approval. He has mixed it in some of the best handicaps run
Winner
this
here
season.
last time.
Yeah.
It's just whether he had to improve for that, isn't it? But the form has worked out okay.
He's up, yeah. I think he was behind the international winner, wasn't he? Guards
Guards of Dreams.
Guards of Dreams.
On his debut, he's been smashed Guards of Dreams in the final race.
Yeah.
Barry's also called that.
I put Art Approval up as one of my 5 horses to follow coming into this year. However, I haven't backed him in either 2 stars or today, so I'm not even following my own advice.
Excuse me, TC, I'm just about to...
Yeah, but
It's triple suit him as well, I think. Tom.
it will.
Yeah.
The one negative I think against him is he's £13 higher because he's obviously £8 higher in the handicap, and then Paddy Brennan takes over from a brilliant conditional. So, you know, if he handles the rise in the weights, he's a huge player. But I just sided with the second string instead.
All right, TC. Yeah, look, this is an absolute cracker, isn't it? We've had the New Year's Day handicap won by Vienna Court. She was impressive, wasn't she?
Very, yeah.
Yeah. A 6-year-old should keep going up in the weights. I wonder where they go with her. It'd be very interesting to see. Of course, don't forget, those of you that are with the members club, those of you that have the digital subscription that comes out, the digital paper at 9 o'clock, you get all the quotes. Still plenty of good races to come tomorrow. We've got a Grade 1 tomorrow. Maybe we'll get a word from Barry on that as well. Nice. But we're about to jump off here. Good luck wherever you are playing. 3 more to come this afternoon on Racing Post Live. We've got this. We pop up to Musselburgh for the 250 and then the Rekeel at 310. Get your selections in. Loads of shout outs today. Happy New Year if you're just joining the show. What a belter it's going to be. And away we do go. And the first thing to say, Liam Harrison, got Art Approval right out the back. Who's going to take it up? Oh, Victoria Malzahn.
Not hanging about.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Malzahn, the talented Miss Malzahn. The Princess of Jersey is absolutely done. You're going to have to find a new jurisdiction, man. I'm telling you.
I'm going to have to go back to Norway.
Where should Mattie go and ride next? He won a champion hurdle in Jersey.
Don't ask that question. People going to give up.
The Galapagos Isles, somewhere like that. Absolutely brilliant. Spirit of the Games is up there. This is interesting. Could this be his day? Dolphin Square, Barry's massive prize selection with mine. What's up with you in the midfield? Looking for some others as well.
Stilling alongside both of those. The Mighty Don missed the first hurdle. He's the only one to make a mistake so far.
Where's Tamar Bridge, TC?
Third last. Still
Third
travelling nicely in the light blue silks.
Ridden to get the trip along with Art Approval then. Where's Pylon?
Just into
In the
fifth.
middle.
Yeah, in
Fifth.
fifth. Travelling nicely under Ben Jones as well. Just off the rail.
So unlucky not to win that Martin Pipe conditional a couple of years back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a short-head and indefatigable beat him, of course. And again, when these horses get back up and running, they fancied him last time at Sand. I think we covered that race, didn't we? He sort of hit the flat spot, came on, but he just winning just for the...
Give me a little
That's
reminder.
Ars Dillon got a
Ars
reminder
Dillon,
there.
yeah.
The Mighty Don, of course, back hurdling. Doesn't like fences either, does he? We'll try and get word on Zanza, by the way. Didn't hear much coming for them. I'm not seeing H14 or anything like that. We'll just make sure Zanza's okay. Who else have we got there? The outsider, Elite Horse as well. Did really well, Sophie Leach, hadn't he? And her
Yeah.
team going to France. Literally mopping up prize money.
It's good prize money out there, yeah. I can't understand why more people don't do it. It's just... It's
You know,
good money.
Even with Brexit and everything, they've been going and mopping up over there. And they've
I
got
think I
cracking
read
spot.
in the post they average $5,000 a race.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You'd think it would be a
I think
a
all the
real headache to
paperwork
get
puts
over,
a lot
but
of
it isn't.
people off now. It's a nightmare.
Okay, all right. My Bobby Dazzler. We haven't mentioned him for Mel Rowley and Alex Edwards. Another rider, amateur, that's been around for a long, long time, Alex. He was a good rider, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. We can. What else have we got? He's going, well, what's Botox Haas then, Bat? Should be a bit quiet about that one.
On the outside, travelling.
Yeah, is he doing a bit too much for the trip?
Third, yeah.
Is he doing a bit too much?
No, he's all right, Dave.
I'll tell you what, David Maxwell's looking kind of batchy. I was still livid about the Jersey comment, probably. What do we got? What's this then that's creeping a little bit closer in the midfield? Stony Mountain, now a 9-year-old for Jamie Snowden and Gav Sheehan. He's catching my eye a little bit out.
These
the back.
horses running well. Snowden's, isn't they?
So Robbie on the inside, giving it up to no one. Brendan Powell for Dave Bridgewater, had a recent winner. Mighty Don just rowing away, frustrating horse, the Mighty Don, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very talented.
Yeah.
For the Giffords, but just always seems to hit that flat spot no matter what race he's in. You could probably put him in the King's Stand and he'd probably make the frame, wouldn't he? He's a weirdo. Right, okay, out we go then, and it's Kansas City Chief that goes on. Look at that crowd at the back there at Prestbury Park. Magnificent to see that back. Absolutely fantastic. Near sellout on New Year's Day. It's not often, this meeting. I've been there before, and there have been tumbleweeds there, you know, when back in the day when we didn't worry about anything, you know, but it just shows they're coming back in their droves. It's great to see out there. Spirit of the Gaze then up and around. My Bobby Dazzler, up there as well. Botox has Pylon pouncing at the moment. What's up with you? Interesting tactics this one alongside Dolphin Square. Tamar Bridge starting to warm up. TC?
Yeah, he's still travelling nicely, patiently ridden. The Mighty Don and Cracking Smart are two horses that are done in this race. Art Approval hasn't been travelling overly well out the back either. Looks like I'd want to be towards the front end. Pylon just made a mistake there. So did Ask Dylan, who's
missed that one as well. Art Approval.
Yeah,
all right, okay. We're getting to the business end then, Barry. What's hot?
My Bobby Dazzler 5.5 and Spirit of the Games 5.4. They're the two favourites now. Pylon out to 13.59. Fort Tomorrow Bridge sneaking into it. Although gone to 21 just as I speak. Must have made a bit of an error there. 8.6 Botox has. My Bobby Dazzler, your favourite at 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Cruising has got the seat. I tell you what, they need to get a hurry up, don't they? These hold-up horses, they're stealing a march. So the peloton are going clear.
Yeah, prominent horses always do well at Cheltenham, no matter if it's over hurdles or fences. Spirit of the Game's ridden extremely aggressively compared to usual today.
I wonder if they might fall in a bit of a hole here. Tamar Bridge certainly fancies his chances. Adrian Eskin, doesn't he?
Yeah, Dolphin Square's still travelling as well.
Yeah, all right then, cool. Well, that would be an absolute stunner, wouldn't it? What's up with you? Still got something to say? Have they just gone a little bit too soon here?
Running.
We've got Spirit of the Games. You don't often see this. I mean, even though Harry Skelton's back on him, he's usually a horse that comes out the clouds, does a Zanza on us, doesn't he?
Yeah, he usually finds one to beat him as well. So it'd be interesting if he hits the front and Kansas City's Chief folds in the straight.
Okay, my Bobby Dazzler now going to be hitting a big spike because he's rowing away. Alex Edwards, Pylon did this at Sandown. I'll tell you what, Barry.
Dolphin Square.
He couldn't.
Could he?
What's Maxwell thinking? Dave, you've got another circuit. No, you haven't. you want to get on with it. Okay, 2 out then. They're going. Oh, Spirit of the Games. I reckon they've gone too soon here. Kansas City Chief. Pylon feeling. Look at Dolphin Square. He's absolutely good cruising. Art Approval coming into it. Tamar Bridge run a stinker today. What's up with you?
Favourite at 2 to 1.
Okay.
Botox.
No, Kansas City still going for it. Look at Botox going for it. Come on, Batch, you want to screen this one?
Jay.
Look at Dolphin Square. He's going to fly up this hill. He's just got to beat. He's left it too late, hasn't he? Spirit of the Games has gone. Vicky Malzard.
Come on, Maxie.
Come on, Maxie. Come on, you
Come
can
on,
go. Tell you
Maxie.
what, this could happen.
No
Come
way.
on, Botox horse.
Maxie wins. Maxie wins. Come on.
It's Victoria Malzard versus David Maxwell. Who's going to get the max? Botox
Come
has
on, Maxie.
brave run. Nothing else coming with the back. He pings the last. Come on up between them. Victoria Malzard, Kansas City Chief. He's absolutely brilliant here. Come on up we get. What's it going on the exchange? I don't think he's going to get there, Barry. He's doing the shit now. He's on the rail. Come on, Maxwell. Come on, also. He got it on the road. 2022 is here. We're absolutely loving life in the Open Studios.
That is class.
Barry, absolutely fantastic. Class, as they say, is permanent. We'll let him.
Raises his fist in the air.
Oh, yes, David Maxwell giving it a bit of this. We gave him a great shout beforehand. He got loads of pelters on social media for getting a well-fancied cat tiger beaten at Newbury. We'll give Barry a moment to compose himself. I need it as well. My Lord, when they win like that as well,
Brilliant.
It's fantastic. Listen, Kansas City Chief, again ignored in the betting, run a stormer.
Yeah.
Botox has your selection, good form race, but that was a peach.
He's given an absolute peach. I thought he was being really chilled for a minute.
Yeah.
Come on. But as you say, Dave, you'd say they went hard up front, but Kansas City Chief has run all the way to the line, and so has Botox. And fair play, David Maxwell. He's given that an absolute peach. He's had his critics in the week, but I think he was very hard done by.
That was enjoyable. I mean, as last shows go, TC,
that was
you don't know what's going to happen here on RP Live. We're dictated to by the racing. We're improvising all the way. That was enjoyable swan song, my man.
Yeah, that's a moment I won't forget. And great selection, Barry. Very well done. Plenty of people would have overlooked Dolphin Square, but you found it. So brilliant pick. And for a 4-place selection as well to make £260 profit there for the charity in Dolphin Square. That's phenomenal. Well done.
Love it, Barry. When did you know? You said, I think, just coming to the second last, didn't you?
I didn't know till 100 yards from the line, to tell you the truth. He was lucky he had that rail. That's obviously helped him an awful lot. The second's run an absolute blinder.
Yeah.
That Victoria Malzard, she's really struck up some partnership with that horse. It's great to see. But what was also great to see was the reaction of the other jockeys, the professional jockeys, all congratulating David Maxwell at the pulling up area there. That was really, really heartwarming to see. But I think he's benefited from a bit of a pace burn-up, hasn't he? Good to see Botox as. I don't think the trip got him. He might be ridden with a little bit more restraint next day. But Kansas City Chief hit a low of 1.36 for £1,200. Betfair SP had a winner. He had been 44 He's a Betfair SP at 38. So
Marvellous.
yeah, I think that's brilliant all round. Go for racing.
Oh,
Great
that's
for racing,
fantastic. Well, listen, this is going to be a good year, isn't
Brilliant.
it? This is
Absolutely
absolutely fantastic. And listen, if you were with Barry as well, show him some love in the chat box. Andy Sims says, well done, Barry. Real Ashton Army says, thank you, lads. Absolutely fantastic scenes.
That was a massive each way price, Kansas, as well, wasn't it? For what he's done.
Every time he's overlooked, that she keeps it simple.
Yeah.
You are going to need to vacate Jersey now. She's going to mop up everything over there.
I'm just Googling if they do racing in the Isle of Wight.
If anyone's going to
If
know.
not, they need to build a race course
Dan
there.
Walsh is in the studio for today. Says Mattie Batchelor. You can go over and get some prize money over there. Maybe get in with the leeches. That's what you want to do.
That's it, yeah.
All right, great stuff. We're having fun. We've got 2 more races to come. We're keeping an eye on Fairyhouse at the moment. We've got a classy mares race over there. And tell you what, put the kettle on. Was Stank in the betting. She's running an absolute stinker. I don't want to see this as Mount Ida and Ellie May go on at the moment over there. We'll keep an eye on that one because that will have some ramifications for Cheltenham, I think, whatever, for the mares chase and whatever. But we must go back up to Musselburgh. It's the 250. I thought this looks like a bit of a match, but let's give him the floor. He's on absolute fire. Barry Orr, what wins this?
Yeah, I thought Amir the Nut ran a really, really solid race last day. The one concern was that the ground could be gone for it, but I don't think the ground is that bad at all up in Musselburgh. Off 135, I know a 10-year-old now, but I thought there was still plenty of scope there in a race that probably won't take a lot of winning. Now, it was 18-5 earlier on in the morning, or 9-5 earlier on today. It's out to 9-4 now. So a little bit weak in the market. Gallic Coast is strong at 3.462 Gold Dubois. But yeah, I'm just going to have 50 quid win on Amor the Newt. And because it's on the slide a bit, we're going to set our own price here. We look to be at 3.3. Be a backer at 3.3. So that will go over into the lay column for someone to come in and lay us that bet. So we'll just keep an eye on that before post on.
Thank you then, Barry. Okay, yeah, I thought the Gaelic Coast had a rock solid chance here. Of course, got to reverse that form with them more than we, but there were tack issues, weren't there, TC, early on in that race. And this just looks very much like a firm race to me. Brian Hughes, Tim Leslie and Donald Mccann around Musselburgh with a horse that's still got some more to offer. Will do for me.
Yeah, we've seen it before, haven't we? I, like you, thought it was a match race between the top 2 in the market. Paul Nichols got a phenomenal record at Musselburgh. He doesn't send too many horses up there. I think he's got a 42% strike rate with hurdlers and 20-something% strike rate with chasers in his career with his
You're going to miss writing those previews, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you almost seeing the stats as you did them?
Yeah, I just memorise. Yeah, exactly. I memorised them. So yeah, that's all the
downhill
benefits.
from here, TC. Let me tell you, we've given you a massive leg up in life, and you're throwing it back in our faces.
Cracking opportunity coming up, Dave.
Quite.
I do think this is a match race between the top 2 in the market. I am with Barry with a more than we. I think Bryony Frost will get him into a nice rhythm. This is a really classy horse, and he's shown that this year he still retains his form despite being a 10-year-old when he was 3rd in the Silver Trophy.
He is, and he could have worse ground for New Year's Day, couldn't he? Batch, what did you like?
I think I tipped Gaelic Coast, but do you know what? I was going to give the Jardine horse a chance. I know it's got a lot of twos by its name, a bit of seconditis, but it's up in trip today. He's very consistent, so I just said for a bit of value, I thought he'd have a little chance, but.
Gold Dubois.
Gold Dubois,
For Raymond Anderson Green. Okay, great. Yeah, Michael 129. Whenever you see Ray's horses on 129, you always think there's a bit more to come, I think, probably. He just needs to get his head in front, doesn't he?
Definitely. And just to interlude and touch on that race over in Ireland, Mount Ida, I think just beat Ellie May. She jumped markedly out to the right. Do you remember last year? Was it last year when she won at the festival?
Yes, phenomenal win, wasn't
incredible.
It?
But she jumped out to the right that day again. I'd be very worried going for the mare's chase with her. Yes, she has a huge engine, but you can't do that.
One of the best rides in history at the Cheltenham Festival, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, but how much did she have in hand?
Well,
with
of
the
course,
rivals?
but come on, it was $1 million after a couple, wasn't it?
Yeah, she traded at 1,000, definitely.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. Anyway, so Mount Ida back, and that mare's chase, Ellie May, was second last year, wasn't she?
Yeah.
By the now departed
Colreedy, yeah.
Yeah, we got it there. All right, okay. Good. We're going to miss you too. Thank goodness. It wasn't the Batchelors helping me there. All right, okay. All right, we've got a minute to go. Final race. Really pleasurable it has been to be up at Musselburgh. Not the only time we're going to Musselburgh because, of course, they've got the county hurdle meeting, haven't they, coming up, the Triumph trial and all that sort of stuff. We'll be back to Musselburgh. We'll be back to Cheltenham. 2 more opportunities this season at Cheltenham, one of them being the biggie, of course. Only 1 more meeting in between. The Trials Day, let's hope that's on.
Yeah,
You just see it all there, don't you? But I don't know. If you had to have one ride now at the Cheltenham Festival, Batch, one ride.
Oh, It's no.
If you say honeysuckle,
No.
you're out of a job.
No. It's no. Shishkin.
Shishkin.
Yeah. I'd say Shishkin.
Does
But
he-
I'm not a jockey, but
Does anything mean just lead him?
I think so.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Just
Because he's almost, it's almost like Denman and Corto, potentially, this.
They're two phenomenal horses. Both look like.
Energamine being the Denman, the bulldozer in the
Yeah.
pack. And of course, that Hilly Way, the horse that he thrashed. I put it up at Limerick on Boxing Day, and it won Daily Tiger over hurdles. Wherever we go, I mean, we don't know, do we?
They
It
both
doesn't
look
have
like.
the Cheltenham tick, though, of course, that Shishkin has.
Exactly. They're both phenomenal horses. What's the phrase? Irrepressible force meets unstoppable something. But they're both proper Grade 1 horses going against each other.
Don't try that in America.
But there's nothing better than seeing two top 2-milers,
Exactly.
and especially the way they jump as well.
Yeah,
It's
and
just-
what makes it even a better race is the fact that Shishkin is seen at his best when he's got a pace to chase.
Yeah.
When he's out of that second gear and moving to third gear, he always jumps better. So Energamine will make sure that there is a pace, and that should really give us the match that everyone wants to see.
Banker of the festival, TC. Departing present over the festive period.
Well,
for
I mean,
your followers.
Honeysuckle's the banker, but that's boring.
Not really, because you know, 4 to 5 at the minute, probably going to be more like well shot and 2's on.
Yeah. I mean, Journey with me, but it depends where he goes. If he goes to the Albert Bartlett, then I'll be a bit more worried. If he
To
goes
win
to the-
any race at the festival, Journey with me.
Yeah, you get a price on that.
That's what I
7
mean.
to 1, I think.
Yeah, you will.
maybe.
Is that what it is?
Well, he's 7 for the Ballymore, and I think he's 9 or 10 for the Albert Bartlett.
Yeah, they've got another one for the Ballymore potentially, haven't they? I can't remember what it is.
I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
Unsurprisingly. Anyway, we digress slightly. It is that time, half-time point of the jump season in a minute, but not long now to the Cheltenham Festival. Of course, we've got the Dublin Racing Festival coming as well. So many pointers towards Cheltenham for that, weren't they? But they are off and running then. Okay, penultimate race of the day, it's the 250. And Batch's selection, Gold de Bois, been given a right freebie up front. And more than we, the closest tabs at the moment.
They're very strong out.
Yeah, out the back is Gaelic Coast along with Nietzsche, who has become something of an enigma, but is well handicapped. And Joke Dancer for Sue Smith, Ryan Mania, some very famous colours, just sitting in third at the moment. Easy time up front, TC.
Well, I missed the first few strides of the race, but when I first looked, there was about 15 lengths separating them. It's quite refreshing to see a small field race actually
Strung
run
out.
at a reasonable gallop.
Yeah, Batch.
a proper gallop.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if this horse has led before Gold de Bois. They're changing tactics, but he did actually lead around here last time and some rain picked him up. So Brian Hughes alive to this fact, isn't he? On the inside and over we go. All right, Barry, a couple of fences. Anything changing in the market?
Yeah, just to say, I'm aware the new was back into 2.52. We didn't get matched in our charity bet, so we've no bet here, but it was bet into 6 to 4. He's 5 to 4 in running now. Gallic Coast 4.26, Gold de Bois and 9.8 Nietzsche.
Thanks, Barry. Loads of love for Barry's Dolphin Square. Already a highlight of 2022. Looking forward to making that real a little bit later on in the year. But yeah, loads of people out there. Make a stand 5. Barry, that was fantastic tipping. Well done. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, you're saying it now, aren't you? Dimp, dimp, when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
That's the one. Dim knows.
Says dimp, dimp. Absolutely.
knows.
And again, well done, Barry. So
Barry, what price? David Maxwell, Sports Personality of the Year.
in Jersey. Absolutely. Yeah, great stuff. Really, I'll tell you what, it was marvellous to see that, wasn't it? And I love it when people stick it up in racing to their fans and all that sort of stuff. All right, and we're out on the all-weather stretch here at Musselburgh. Gaelic Coast, I'm hoping he's creeping a little bit closer. Is that the case, TC?
Kind of, but he's still not in an ideal situation back and forth. I think they've slowed down the gallop, and Morden Wee's in the perfect position if you're on the favourite. Currently trading just above even money on the Betfair Exchange, 2.1 exactly. Back in second, got into a really nice rhythm under Bryony Frost.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how Morden Wee's going at the minute. She's wide, isn't she? And probably looking for that better ground, isn't she, Batch?
Yeah, just keep her out a little bit. But still
In a perfect rhythm.
travelling well. Yeah, perfect position.
Yeah, okay, so Nietzsche, who jumped off this time, but I don't know.
Ooh, mistake there.
Doesn't look like he's loving racing at the moment, does he? Again, Gold de Bois absolutely pinged out over that one. And they've still got, I don't know, is this going to be given a bit too much rope potentially? What do you reckon, Barry?
Currently into 2 to 1, the same price as More Than Me. 3.4 Gallic Coast and 15 bar. So just nearly shading favouritism, the one in front.
All right, yeah, okay. So will he find one too good again? Again, he's becoming a bit like Oliver Twist, as I say. How many more seconds do you want? Joke Dancer then, showing why he's wearing those cheap pieces, trying to race a little bit lazily. At the moment, it's the 2 old rivals batch. Could this be between Morden Wee and Brian Hughes? Just started to niggle a little bit, isn't he?
He was sitting comfortable there for a minute. He's just niggling a little bit. Bryony's got them back on his girths, Connor. He's kind of still going well, you know.
This one in front's not absolutely
Yeah.
done with TC though, isn't it? So they're going clear. Gaelic Coast just you never know what Hughes has got underneath him, do you at all?
Yeah, he hides it, doesn't he?
Again, he's hoping that they've gone a little bit too soon, but I think I
I think he's struggling a little bit.
I wouldn't be able
I'd
to
wanna
with
be
that.
able to
All
more.
right then, it's Gold Dubois. Is he going to find another one too good again? We're coming to the third last, aren't we? And Mordenway, if you're on the five, if you're with Barry, if you're with TC,
travelling
it's
well.
looking good, isn't it? She's very confident, Bryony, isn't she?
Very confident.
Three
yeah.
out, then here we go. I know I've got this one right.
He came up for it there.
Yeah, just popped a little bit, didn't he? Again, just holding him together. Nichols having a little bit of a say. Gaelic Coast running on empty at the moment. Back in fourth. Gold Dubois now been taking his measure. Case of how far.
All
this,
over,
isn't
I
it?
think. All over.
Case of how far. Paul Nichols raids over the border at Musselburgh. Always successful. Just got to ping this last and she'll let him go, I think. Gaelic Coast running on a little bit now.
Oh, get
Gold
off.
Dubois didn't deserve that. Was that 2 out? I've got to...
50 to 1 on, 50 to 1 on.
We have still got
14 to
another
1 on.
fence. Dave Orton's
Oh,
called it wrong
50 down.
again. And yeah, again, just let him run through it basically. And this has been, absolute bridal job, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious me. Fav just wins, said Andy Sim, one of our regular contributors. Quite right. Barry, 2 from 2 all of a sudden. He'll be ending the show on a hat-trick in the real kill at 3:10. That was a cakewalk, TC.
Yeah, absolutely dotted up. Bryony Frost looked really comfortable from the top of the straight. Paul Nichols, before today at Musselburgh, in his career, which has obviously lasted plenty of years, 24 from 61, a 39% strike rate at Musselburgh and a level stakes profit coming into the day. So I'm sure plenty of punters were getting stuck into Nichols' runners. He had one finish second earlier, but in Mordenway just lands the gamble there. We have to say gamble 5 to 2 into what? 6 to 4 on the off.
Yeah, fair play.
4, yeah.
Some of us knew then here in the studio, TC and Barry going for it. As I said, Andy Sim out there saying boom. Of course, we've had the honours list here, haven't we? Overnight. And Andy Sim says, when will it be Sir Barry Orr? Caught you on the hop there a little bit, didn't we, Barry? Absolutely.
Arise, Sir Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, dear. Good, absolutely fantastic. But listen, loads
You
of...
kneel when you say that, Batchelor.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you...
Don't say he is kneeling.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's kneeling, you wouldn't see him.
I was wondering what I was going to say there. Absolutely. That chair's got lower and lower, I think, Bats, isn't it, as we're going along. You don't need it. You need a couple of pillows. All right, OK, so we've got one more to go. Great stuff. And it is the Rail Kill. A lot of people will find this the feature race of the day. TC on a quick double. Barry, he's on a hat-trick. Let's give him the floor.
Yeah, so I really like Guard Your Dreams here. It's a horse, Dave. That, every time he runs on the show, I've been inextricably linked to him since he ran in the Betfair Hurdle last February, because he came from nowhere to finish 6th or whatever he was in it. And I thought they were sure to go the County Hurdle route with them, and they didn't. They went to Carl. I backed them in that. I have backed them. I backed them a couple of times this season. I thought to step back and trip in the International last day was a fantastic effort, but I couldn't face into him at 11 to 4 up in class here, because he still has to prove that he belongs in this class. McFabulous, and a lot of positive stuff coming out of Ditch Heat about him. Stormy Ireland's going to go off and try to make it. Dan's Levant's not 1,000,000 to 1, 40 on the exchange at the moment. I thought that had a bit of a chance. So it leads me all to looking to take on the favourite, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay him. He's currently 3.3. We'll take 50 quid at the backer stake at 3.3, brewing up a storm. I think he's a burster, and sometimes he struggles to put consecutive races together. So the quality of opposition coupled with the fact that he's not the most straightforward horse brewing up a storm, I'm going to lay him.
On his 9th birthday as well. Yeah, Tamar Bridge was too bad to be true in that last race, wasn't it? Perhaps it was stamina. The Wolf at least has finished second for Ollie, but again, Ollie yesterday dampened a bit of enthusiasm for some of his runners, didn't he? Saying, I'm inoculating soon. These guys haven't been yet. Brewing up as long. It was impressive when he came back at Aintree, wasn't he? He's won 3 of his last 4, but I think because these horses that don't match up over fences and then come back hurdling, they've always got their detractors, haven't they? I'm with him today at the price. I thought he'd been more like 6 to 4. There's been all the money, as Barry said, for Guard Your Dreams. This is his FA Cup final, I would imagine, this season as well. But I don't know, that entry run, the form's strong.
Form strong, yeah. McFabulous to me after the wind up, because
You're putting this up, are you?
yeah, I thought he was going to, when he first come out, first time out season, when he first come on the scene, I thought, yeah, he's a lovely horse. I think I saw him winning at Chepstow, and I thought this is the real deal. And say that his form's disappointed a little bit, but wind operation,
£6 better off with the Fav.
£6 better off. If he comes back to the form that he showed before, he's a big danger. And guard your dreams as well. In the tabloids that Sam Twiston and Nigel had a massive row. He said, "What are you doing? Run him over 2 mile." And
Dad was right.
Dad was right, as dads always are.
Massive cojones. He's got loads of children, was his line. What a brilliant line from
What a
STD
line.
that was. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we
Stormy
know...
Island, did you get that?
Well, we know it's going to be run, don't we? Because Stormy
Yeah.
Island's in the race and Danny Mullins come over this.
But he needed the last run.
Again,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd be surprised if she wasn't picked up, really. Guardian Dreams, everything Barry said is right. I mean, they could still go and handicap this TC. They could still go for the Betfair, couldn't they? 147, the handicapper didn't rate that. My worry about the international that he won, Song for Someone didn't want to go a yard in that and was still only beaten ahead.
Yeah.
Should have won the race by a couple of lengths. As nice as he is, and that was over the wrong trip, I just think there are classy operators in here. What do you reckon, CC? Last chance for you
Last chance.
to get over the winning line.
Should stop now after the last winner. I kind of agree with you about Guard Your Dreams, though I wouldn't be surprised if he does win this race. I wouldn't be surprised if he went off favourite either, given the drift all day for Brewing Up a Storm, who is my selection. I just thought there were negatives about everything else. Now, I'm not overly strong on Brewing Up a Storm. I just think he's the most solid horse in the race at the trip and in this class. But Fabulous, first time off a wind up and a layoff is a slight concern for me. Strong traveller, though. Stormy Island, not at her best. On the blind side, Don Levant, I can't back them in this grade. So Brewing Up a Storm, who was really good at Aintree. Really good hurdler throughout his career, actually. He's disappointing over fences, and that's probably marred his profile a bit for punters. But he was really good at Aintree last time. He seems to have a bit of a Cheltenham hoodoo. I think that's why there's been a drift. He's failed to win here on numerous occasions, but he did fall when he was going to win the Classic Novice Hurdle, in 2019, when he was alongside Birchdale. He would have won that race, definitely, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So just bearing that in mind, I don't think Cheltenham's a problem for him.
Apparently he scored really well yesterday. That was one thing that Murph
He's
did
just
say.
been unlucky around there, isn't he?
Yeah, I agree.
It's not so much the course, it's just...
Yeah, he's fine there, I think. And he absolutely hosed up at Aintree, didn't he? And
Yeah, bolted up.
That race has seen some very good horses over the years. They were obviously thinking about going chasing with McFabulous. He's always doing and appreciate it, isn't he? He's 8 now, isn't he? It's a tough time to go fencing.
I think Paul said as well, it's probably a bit late in the season to
do it.
To start your chase career, so yeah.
He's had the wind up, we'll see. Of course, McFabulous, in the last 2 seasons, been real talking horse, hasn't he?
Yeah.
The year before...
When he won the EBF final,
my
he
lord,
bolted up. He looked like the next coming.
I did a Betfair preview. I was lucky enough to do a Betfair preview with Barry, and we went for dinner. Do you remember this, Barry? We went for dinner, didn't we? With
I do,
a few big players, and he was the one horse that you could see. He said, "I've got a 150 horse." I don't know if you heard that, Barry. I definitely did. And he was talking to me about it, and he hadn't jumped. Of course, he was big talking horse as a bumper, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And before he went on stage, he said, "Just look out for him. This is, he'll win wherever he goes next." And it was the day after Cheltenham when a lot of people are hungover and they don't want to, done your brains, or it's been a long week, you don't want to give it back or anything like that. And that EBF final at Kempton, he absolutely dotted up.
Yeah.
It was one of my favourite days in the last decade. And Paul was absolutely right. But I don't know what I'm going to get with him here.
I don't fancy him to win the race at all.
He won this race last year, but at Kempton.
Yes. And what if you fancy him, or if you want to have a bet in this race and don't know who to back, a back to lay on McFabulous isn't the worst idea, because he will travel into the race. He always does. He's a very strong traveller. And first time off a layoff, first time off a wind up, he may fold in the straight. So you could back him at what price is he now? 6.2? I'm convinced he'll be shorter than that, maybe 3.2 or 3 in running. So he could be a back to lay in this race. I don't think he'll get home though.
Does the mare Stormy Island, the X? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to. You didn't see that, but Batch was literally on the floor. I mean, it's usually Paul Keeley that sinks those chairs.
I can't believe you cannot make this up. Today the earpiece has stayed in, and now the chair's going up and down like a yo-yo.
Batch has all sorts of problems with your earpiece now. The one day it stayed in, you've got problems with your
chair.
It's not meant to be, is it? All right, fair enough. Barry, go on, Stormy Island. We know she's going to try and make all, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, obviously, she's ex-Paul Nichols as well, but could she just get a soft lead up front?
Yes, absolutely.
There's not a whole lot of pace in it if on the blind side doesn't force it with her.
Yeah, she's owned by the racing club as well, isn't she? And she has got a big, strong following, and she came back to form, didn't she, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I think something will try and get her at it. Will it be on the blind side? Will it be Guard Your Dreams? And could just set it up for McFabulous. I don't know what they could do.
Guard Your Dreams won't want to be up forcing it.
If you remember the international, I know it was over 2 miles, but he just
But he had to ride it that way because it was over 2 miles. He had to be aggressive. He gave it a great ride, but I can't see him wanting to
Has he
take on
got to turn a
Stormy
foot,
Island.
though? I don't know. Yeah, but listen, we're going to find out, aren't we? So this is over the years. This really has been a proper race, isn't it? It's usually a stepping stone towards the likes of a Stayers Hurdle. But ever since Oscar Whiskey won, do you remember Oscar Whiskey was your archetypal 2 mile horse? He was Coral Hurdle type thing. When any 2 mile 4 race, Aintree Hurdle, it was his. And I mean, since that we've had more of that won it. In 2013, Rock on Ruby, great horses. Agripart, proper stayer. Holstone didn't quite get home in the Stayers. Midnight Shadow definitely didn't get home in the Stayers. Somerville Boy, a supreme winner.
The Rekeel is the perfect race for real good hurdlers who are in between trips, 2 miles and 3 miles. There aren't many opportunities for horses like this.
No. Talking about being in between trips, Louis McCall, who's doing our social today, a fabulous job doing all the clipping up with the tweets and all that sort of stuff. He was watching that Fairy House, and there's a bit of social reaction to Put the Kettle On, running an absolute stinker.
Yeah, she
slid
early.
in the betting as well. I mean, it was like 6-4 she opened up, I think, in a place or two, which might have been too short, giving weight away to a couple of decent mares, but she's champion chaser. She was beaten way before they started getting racing. Is she a spent force now? We saw, of course, was that a bit of a red herring in the Slough? I fancied her for the Ryanair. I thought, look, you know, it's Allaho's race, and then it's a real muddling division. And I thought, if you've got a champion chaser, she looked for all the world like she wanted 2 mile 4. Spoke to Aidan Coleman about that. Henry de Bromhead, they're like, we'll just see where we might go to mares. It stunk. I don't know.
I think it's what you touched on earlier about the Henry de Bromhead form. I just had a look, and coming into today, Henry de Bromhead in the last 14 days, 4 from 71. I mean, that's
for a powerhouse
trainer,
operation.
For him,
powerful trainer with a lot of good horses. That's bad.
Dodged a few dances with Bob.
Yeah, I don't. That wasn't the Put the Kettle On we've seen.
Ever. He also said after Journeyman Me, his Leopardstown winner. He didn't really fancy it, did he?
No,
he was
drifted.
really big in the betting.
Yeah, he drifted in the betting out to 3s as well.
That says a lot when it's someone like that, a horse like that.
Yeah.
He is a good horse.
Again, if it's inoculations or something like that, we ought to probably know about this, shouldn't we? So I don't know. A lot
I think
might be said about this.
He'd be the sort of person to come out and tell you though if he had Henry de Bromhead. Do you know they just look a little bit like, after watching Put the Kettle On. They just look a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, they do absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Barry? 4 from 71.
Yeah, it makes what Journey with Me did all the more impressive, doesn't it? He's one of those 4. So, he had horses that ran very in and out up in Leopardstown. You couldn't back them with any real confidence, although Platard seemed to have run its race all right. And Kavanagh's Corner, another one that seemed to run its race well, finished second. But, yeah, it's a very worrying statistic, I suppose. I don't think he's one that inoculates, but I could stand to be corrected there.
Okay, so we'll watch that going forward for January as well.
Even Envoy LN wasn't that impressive, was he?
No.
Really, no.
Yeah.
No, he did. Yeah, but I don't know.
And
They
he's
can't
one
all
of the
be
4.
machines, can they? And I don't know. It's a tricky one, that.
How many off days do you allow them? But it's.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose when you see horses do what they do, I suppose we come expectant and you think, oh, they're going to do that all the time, but they still go and win. So
On a more positive side, of course, Team Mullins, we spoke to Patrick on, just before Christmas as we were leading up on the feature shows, ambassador at the Racing Post. I mean, he won every single bumper.
Yeah, 4 out of 4, wasn't it?
Leopardstown, ridiculous, And actually, the one that he was saying was the next thing out of Quavega, Facile Vega, while very good. The others looked. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Embarrassment of riches again, isn't it? Some team.
Yeah, it just keeps rejuvenating every single year.
We're
doesn't
so
it?
lucky to have them, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have, maybe 4 or 5 powerhouses in UK and Ireland, trainers, and every year they seem to get a new bunch of brilliant young horses, and that's what makes jumps racing phenomenal. We've got the old timers that are around year in year, and we've got these young.
And could this
up-and-coming
drought
swords.
that we had, the winter drought that was leading in, we're nearing the last at Cheltenham, we've got a bit of time to talk about this. Could that drought that we had over here and in Ireland as well, Mullins and Henderson, both very slow coming out, that means that, some of Willie's best novices have only just started going. So Gerhard, they're going to want to get at least, 1 or 2 runs? Whereas now you get to Christmas, they kind of look right, we've got 1 prep run then Cheltenham. We might see a bit more, we might see bigger fields because horses have been backlogged.
That would be nice.
Absolutely. So the second half of jump season could just be absolutely brilliant, couldn't it?
it could be, but then it's that old. You're getting closer and closer to Cheltenham. Do you want to risk them? Do you have to say right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go
the
straight.
The Irishans will all run at the Dublin Racing Fest. That's their MO now. They'll get a run with Willie. He's not training horses to win in October, November. He wants to win Leopardstown at Christmas, Dublin Racing Festival, Cheltenham, Aintree, Punchestown.
Yeah.
Remember, that's mapped out in stone for those top horses.
The anticipation for the Dublin Racing Festival will be off the charts, Barry, won't it? Because of the strike rate that the horses had at the Cheltenham Festival that followed it.
Yeah, very much so. It's like it's well established in the calendar now, and it's the highlight in Ireland in the month of January, and it's the highlight pre-Cheltenham, and it's where all the top horses will have their final run in Ireland before going to Cheltenham. So it's the top racing festival now in terms of quality, maybe not in attendance, but in terms of quality in Ireland, without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, in terms of attendance, you have Punchestown at the end of the season, which is more a party, and you have Galway, which is a completely different scenario. But in terms of quality, the Dublin Racing Festival is the best in Ireland by far.
Yeah, cannot wait for that. 2 days we'll be covering here. First weekend in February on RP Live. But it's over to Tom Collins. It's his swan song on Racing Post Live. And the Racing Post, the former T-Boy, gets to take the commentary.
T-Boy, unbelievable. They're off in the Grade 2 Rekeel. They've just jumped the first hurdle. Stormy Island out in front under Danny Mullins for Willie Mullins, the team that won the King George. In second is on the blind side. He originally looked to push Stormy Island early, but she's now built up a 3-length advantage. Back in third, McFabulous, who won this race last year at Kempton. Now it's been rerouted back to its original destination of Cheltenham, where it was last run in 2019. Back in fourth, Brewing Up in Storm on the outside, 3 wide going around the bend. On the inside, just taking a little tug, is Guard Your Dreams under Sam Twiston-Davis. And out the back, ridden patiently as usual by Isabel Williams, is Don Levant.
Thank you very much, TC. OK, so as expected, Barry, Stormy Island taking a keen tug up front. Has the market reacted in any way?
Yeah, just a small bit, 4.8. I think it's factored into the price pre-race that she was going to go off in front. She'd a Betfair SP of 5.2. She's 4.6 now. 4 Guard Your Dreams, 3.4 Brewing Up a Storm, and McFabulous 5.5. So they're all travelling well within themselves. She's not going a crazy pace either.
No, she's not. They're all taking a keen tug, absolutely. Just looking at Brewing Up a Storm, Batch and McFabulous upsides each other. Jumped out really well, Brewing Up a Storm.
Really well, yeah. So did McFabulous, yeah. They're all going well within themselves.
Extravagant horse, McFabulous, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like the way he jumped the last hit, it almost looked like he'd been maybe schooled over a fence at home. He gave it a lot of airtime.
Yeah, you look at Don Levant out the back, as you said, TC, Isabel Williams, always rise cold. But Evan Williams in the paper this morning said, look, we don't want to have a hard time in handicaps. We're going to try and nick some in these condition races, and ridden to do just that.
Yeah, exactly. Ridden out in last. I mean, it's still £938 if you just finished 6th in this race, but they'll have their eye on a slightly higher placing on the blind side. Just missed that last hurdle in the straight. Stormy Island exits after the first circuit with a 4-length advantage. Yeah,
she's gone well clear, Batch. What do you reckon? I don't mind seeing this on a front runner.
No, you don't mind, but it's a long way to go yet, and she's probably done enough in front as well on the ground that we're running on.
Guard Your Dreams. I think we could say the gamble of the race. Just keen not to give Danny Mullins too much rope. Up front, Sam Twiston-Davis. Absolutely.
They're
really closing up on
now they're closing up,
really.
yeah.
Is Brewing Up a Storm.
Yeah, he got no cover out wide, has he, at all on him, to Aidan Coleman. Jumped that beautifully, though. And they come up to the mare, just on the blind side. Just didn't enjoy that too much. Now Don Levant having a say as well.
He's 48 on the blind side.
48?
Yeah, out to 48.
Yeah, put another 0 on Barry. I think we can confidently say that. There we go. First one of 2022. Ring the bell. TC, come on then. Final swan song. We want to see some decibels, my man.
So Stormy Island with a 1-length advantage from Guard Your Dreams and Brewing Up a Storm, both travelling well in second and third. McFabulous just lost a length of that hurdle there. On the blind sides, come back on the bridle, back in 5th. And Evan Williams is charged. Don Levant looking for the 5th or higher prize money at a big price. Brewing Up a Storm still travelling nicely. He was trading at just above evens for a place on the Betfair Exchange just before the off, which is outstanding given he was 6-4 last night. But Stormy Island still in front. Second, Brewing Up a Storm. Third, Guard Your Dreams on the blind side, being niggled along by Nico de Boinville. McFabulous maybe feeling the pinch already, or still travelling nicely.
Interesting. I think he's tanking, isn't he? He has lost his position a bit, Batch. It will all be about the hill for Brewing Up a Storm. Nothing's jumped better so far.
No.
As he puts the mockers on it 4 out. And he did have a little think about that one as well, didn't he? OK, Don Levant on the blind side gone then. I think we can say that. So Stormy Island's still there. Guard Your Dreams. Could this be the next big improver from the Twiston-Davis yard? We'll find out. TC, I think we've got, 3 to jump?
Yeah, 3 to jump, I think. There are 5 still travelling nicely. Don Levant going to earn, at this stage, at least 1.8k. Beautiful payday for him. On the blind side, definitely gone. Probably going to be pulled up by Nico de Boinville. But 4 horses still travelling nicely. Guard Your Dreams now just being niggled. McFabulous moving into joint third. Brewing Up a Storm in second. Stormy Island still in the lead. Travelling well. Finished 6th behind Honeysuckle in the Hutton's Grace when last seen. Still travelling well. 1 length clear. Brewing Up a Storm in second. McFabulous third. Guard Your Dreams fourth. Don Levant still travelling as well, back in 5th. Just
Come on,
briefly.
TC, you're doing brilliantly, man.
We're still a long way out here.
No,
Come on, Brewing Up a Storm. Stormy Island still got it then. Actually, that was a
jump.
great jump from the. Look at McFabulous.
Look at
Fabulous
McFabulous.
travelling well. This is what I thought might happen. He could go flat in the straight.
Don't
Don
discount
Levant
Guard
pecked
Your
there.
Dreams. He does come off the bridle. This is a proper race,
Come
isn't
on.
Danny Mullins still confident on the Stormy Island, holding on to Brewing Up a Storm, travelling as well as anything. Guard Your Dreams will stay. McFabulous could fold. Don Levant just moving into contention
it?
in
Guard Your
5th.
Dreams gone.
Go
by the
on,
looks of it.
Cobden.
Looks like it could be the big 2 in the market. Going for the
trying to get-
rail.
this could
be
Harriet
the
Cobden
race.
doesn't get it. Danny Mullins
Don't get
gets
it.
it. What's this? Stormy Island then. She's getting the mayor's allowance. Brewing Up a Storm now asked.
Will he finally win a race at Cheltenham?
Come on then,
This is what
Brewing.
happened
Come
in
on,
the classic
Aidan.
novice
You've got
hurdle.
this. Aidan Coleman knows what he's got coming to last. They're pulling clear. McFabulous has needed it. Oh no! Oh, he's gone. It's a spurt
Exactly
down
right.
the road again.
Oh.
Oh no! Stormy Island left clear. TC up the running.
Yeah, Stormy Island clear. She's going to make amends for a disappointing run in the Hatton's Grace. Danny Mullins, Willie Mullins winning another big race in England after Tornado Flyer in the King George. Back in 2nd, McFabulous actually running on
Staying
really
on again.
nicely. Guards of Dreams in 3rd, not good enough today. Don Levant, nice, healthy prize fund. Oh, lovely pat down the net by Danny Mullins. But that's exactly what we saw in the Classic Novice Chase in 2019.
Birchdale all over again.
Alongside Brewing Up a Storm. Brewing Up a Storm. He kind of steps at the last and goes down.
Oh, Barry, you
Steps
were
straight into
slightly
it.
ahead of us. We heard it coming. The worst happened. Who would have won?
Punters seem to think the Brewing Up a Storm, and I do as well. I thought he would have won. It looked like he was going to get the better of the mare. Obviously, he traded a 5s on Dave, so punters seem to think it as well. But
Yeah.
I hope he got up okay. It's sad to see. Sad to see him go out like that.
Yeah, and again, exactly what happened to him
He's up.
when he went over.
He's up.
And running. That's
That's
fine.
great
Oh,
news.
Aidan Coleman, he got a feel for them, haven't he? He'd just done everything right. He'd been a bit keen, and he wouldn't
Ollie's
know up
down
the
there
hill.
as
But
well.
oh, a Murph, I feel for you, man, out there. What a race that was. McFabulous, we'll get back to him. That was the last race on RP Live, but we'll give it a bit of a debrief. What an afternoon we have had. That was a real, for me, that was one of the finishes of the day. Absolutely spectacular. And I would be taking McFabulous out of the race 100%.
Definitely, just coming down to the last, well, just after the second last.
He's had a blow, hasn't he?
He's had a blow, I think, and then he's found his second wind, and he was finishing up the hill then.
Yeah, that was golden, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Brewing Up a Storm would have won that race. Obviously, we don't know for sure, but he was travelling so well, and we've seen that he can finish a race off well up a hill before. Just so unfortunate. I don't know if it is a Cheltenham hoodoo or if he just loses concentration when he's being put under pressure, or I don't know, but it's gutting for connections. McFabulous was the classic Batchelor, touched 2.52 in running, finished 2nd, would have been a good Batchelor bet in the race, but Willie Mullins does it again.
It'd be interesting
Willie
to see
Mullins
the
does it,
last
yeah.
jump. It'd be interesting to see the last jump again because, say, Brewing Up the Storm was good all the way round, and they've come up sides and they've eyeballed each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the winners just took off and just half a length Brewing Up a Storm, which caused him to step. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to see it again, but I do want to see that again. To be honest.
Fair play to the winner, though. You know,
Yeah.
keen, early, exuberant, controlled it right. Danny Mullins, King George. Now he goes and takes out a rail kill. When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah, definitely. She's a mare that's been doing it for a long time. She was beaten at 2-13 on the flat, and then she was stuffed by Honeysuckle in the Hatton's Grace. So it's great to see her bounce right back. But yeah, Willie
It's a great
Mullins.
story to her. You know, obviously she was with Paul Nichols, and Jared O'Sullivan took it off. Willie sent it to Paul. Paul struggled with her, I think, and it went to the sales. Then she was bought for 76 grand as a brood mare, and the people who bought her said she would send her back to Willie's before we go breed from her. He won a Grade 2 and a Grade 1 last season, and now he's won a Rekeel with her. So
Yeah.
I think the master of ditch heat might be too happy.
No, and he's just finished 2nd on McFabulous as well. But I don't know if there is a stayer's horse in the pack. Can't believe I'm saying this. It'll be interesting to see what McFabulous does on his next start.
Second time off a layoff, second time off a wind up.
Yeah, probably go to National Spirit again, won't he? And yeah, maybe him and Brewing Up a Storm. Let's hope he's still all right, because that was a real treat, wasn't it? It's been a real treat this afternoon to have you with us. Barry, you knocked it out of the park. It's only downhill from here in 2022.
I don't know about that. We got a few small things right. I'm just kicking myself that we didn't split our stakes and have 25 quid win on Dolphin Square and 25 in the place, but that's just greedy me. Anyway, Tom, best luck in your new role. I hope it holds everything that you wish, and I hope you're very successful in it. Mattie, Batchelor, see you as the year progresses, no doubt. And Dave, Happy New Year to you and all of yours.
And Barry, we'll see you next Saturday. Thank you very much to the big hitter from Betfair. Wow, honestly, brilliant tipping from Barry. Love the shout. That was a real highlight of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, watching Dolphin Square win for Barry at a big price and the charity. Shall I mention the charity? Should we go for IJF?
IJF.
Yeah, we'll go for
Did
IJF.
we have that in December? Did we have the IJF?
We did, but we go Go again, yeah.
We'll
that's
go
good.
again.
Lovely.
All right, fair enough. We'll double up. All right, Batch, great to have you. We're going to see you a couple of times in January.
Yeah,
Happy New
fingers
Year,
crossed.
my man.
Happy New Year. All the best to Tom for the future.
Thanks
Yeah,
so much,
TC
guys.
will give you the final word. Everyone's going to miss you, mate. All your followers as well. Of course, you're indulging yourself in your American dream, aren't you? I'll tell you what. But this hopefully won't be the last we see of you on RP Live, right?
Yeah, hopefully not. Moving to SBK, which should be a really good opportunity. Obviously, I'll still be tipping on Twitter and whatnot. And I just want to
I bet you
leave
will.
with a US tip because it wouldn't be the same.
Here we go. Okay, give us a 5-timer.
No, just one for this evening. Race 7 at Santorini at 11:05 p.m. If anyone is still awake at that time. Bob Baffett and John Velasquez, 7 for 10 at this meet at Santorini. They team up on a horse called New Grange. If Bob Baffert's allowed a horse in the Kentucky Derby this year, which is unproven yet, this horse could be the one. New Grange is 1 from 1, is 5 to 2 currently. I think he's a good bet.
And this is your New Year's resolution, to let Bob Baffett back into your stable. That's right. All
Absolutely
right.
not.
Anyway, we'll not be going with that. Listen, what an absolute pleasure it's been to see Tom rise up the ranks from everyone here at the RP. Tom, good best luck for the future. From us all here, a happy New Year on Racing Post Live. We'll be back next Saturday as normal. Join us then, 1:30. Well done, lads.
Well done.
That was
Cheers,
great.
guys.
Talk